feeling.
Right.
I want you and that young man to tie that knot. I'm going to pray for you. And I want you to hold on to God's unchanging hand, because he helped Joshua fight the battle of Jericho. Yes.
It's the old
He helped Daniel get out the lion's den. He helped get off the island.
Let me get straight to the business. Yeah. Got them lions in the building. Yeah. Why you lying to the children? Yeah. Why you lying to the children? Yeah. RIGHTEOUN. Man, they know I've been to bed. Man, they know they know contest. Yahuwah, he do the bled. We will not see you tomorrow. Cause you cannot go to Thought. All the sons and all the daughters. Standing all the big man daughters. But my son, he made me Taurus. On that line, I'm still a Taurus. Karate kicking Chuck Norris, 4-5 on my waist. If he started, will not hesitate to get retarded. Oh Lord, he ain't got a PowerPoint, he farted. He's running to the hills like a Philistine. T-Hawk hitting Hamites with the guillotine. Situation turned up with the Ratchet team. JJ 7000 to the debate me. I know them haters gon' hate me, but he won't debate me. Pistol off safety. He respond, come wake me. If I don't get up, nigga shake me. If he don't show up, then he fake G. I touch down and make these nigga nuts hate me. Dear brother. Balling and crawling all the way from H-Time. Let me get straight to the business. Man, them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Why you lying to them children? You gon' cry, you gon' get it. Me, I'm like a frog, nigga, ribbit. Of course, it's in the spirit. I just got the Porsche, she can steer it. Michael got the Rorschach and Willie. Lamborghini doors, you better not spill it. Mama's high, say I'm more than just a villain. Mama's cry, I'm dope and wide for her children. Suicide, immortalized as a realist, yeah. Therefore, black suicide. Let me get straight to the business. Got them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Yeah. Why you lying to them children? Yeah. RIGHTEOUN. Yeah. Man, you know I be there. Yeah. Man, they know they no contest. Yeah. Yahuwah, yeah. Wow, what's that? Why ain't they taking over? Number one debate league, you heard me? When it's up, it's stuck.
You already know what it is. World House Debate League. The Lions Den. And I'm your host, Jeremiah Juice 7000, the People's Champ, in the building. And we're getting back to what we like to do, setting up preliminaries and getting the debate going. And we got two powerful brothers in the building. One comes from the Kemetic way of thinking. The other comes from the Rastafarian way of thinking. So it's going to be an interesting preliminary. So before we get into it, I gotta introduce the host of the building, the hostess with the most, Black Beauty, Ink Cream Karima. How you doing this evening, Karima?
Hey, King. Shalom to the people that's watching. Hey, to the Nazareth, Water Blue. Hey, King. Plus B. Shalom, King. Welcome to the Lions Den preliminary. And those that's watching on Tag and Facebook. Thank you. Appreciate you coming. Love you.
All right. Shout out to Tag, Digo, Facebook, YouTube. You know, thank y'all for supporting the Lions Den. You know, this is one of the most fairest places on the earth that you can get your information across. Unlike some of these other knockoffs that call themselves a fair platform. We ain't gonna get into that though. We're about to get into these two powerful brothers getting it in. Shout out to Judah Nazareth, Water Blue, and everybody out there, Apostle, everybody's peeking in. Well, before we get started, we got to introduce the Intercontinental Lions Den champion, the Smushinator. Go ahead, Ak. You got to unmute your mic. Unmute your mic.
Yeah, all right. You know what I'm saying? You know who it is? The most hated, the most underrated, the most underdebated, the most underestimated, the Smusher head, the Smushinator. Your Smusher man, baby, wipe your mouth off, God damn it, fix your face. You know what I'm saying? This dude over here, Cephus Black, wanted to get in the ring. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad he's here today. You know what I'm saying? To face the thunder. You know what I mean? So with that said, you know what I'm saying? I yield. You know what I'm saying?
All right, that was from the Intercontinental Lions Den champion, the Smushinator. Smusher, baby. You know what I'm saying? You know. And next up to bat, we got the what do you call himself? The ghetto Egyptian. The ghetto Egyptian. You are
the gangster Egyptian.
Yeah, oh, my fault, man. My fault. The gangster Egyptian in the building, y'all. Now, I ain't never heard no gangster Egyptian, but he gonna come hit you with all the hieroglyphs in the gangster personification. You see, and educate you at the same time. Meaning he gonna gangster this information on you. That's right. We got Cephus Black all the way from Baltimore. Go ahead, Aki. Tell him what you gonna do.
Y'all know what it is. It's Cephus Black, the gangster Egyptian. You know, I came back and wanted to, school some people real fast on some knowledge. I got a couple good topics that I want to hit on. I got one topic about is religion a mental health crisis, and another one talking about how Selassie is he an anti-black person, and that he's was everything he said was he really against. So this gonna be some good information given out here.
Right, all right. Both of you brothers made the introduction. And like I say, y'all know how I do in a preliminary or debate. I do not get in the way. But the false pretense of JJ and Lions Den doing this is over there being said by Frankie Netter. I forgot his last name. Frankie, you got to stop lying on the Lions Den, bro. You got to stop doing it. All right. So go ahead, brothers. Either one of y'all want to start off. Maybe Cephus Black could go ahead and start off and tell the audience, where he's coming from.
Go ahead, Cephus. You know what I'm saying? Since you're the one with the contention, and I'm about to smush your head in. You know what I'm saying? You are more than welcome.
All right, so cool. We can start off with our first disagreement that we had, and then we can move on to the second topic. So the first argument that me and my brother had was about is religion. Religion causes mental health, and there's a mental health illness, and so forth and so on. I'm going to tell you right here today, ladies and gentlemen, that I got proof to tell you that it is. Because you sitting here, most of our people sit here today and just believe in something that we completely not. We living in a fairy tale. And that right there shows mental health problems right there. You have no logical, no factual proof that who you claim you are, that it's a make-believe story, brothers. The Europeans had came up with make-believe stories to get us to go astray from the truth, and so now we done dabble all into that crab pot. So now we can't even find ourselves back out of the fairy tale land. And I'm sick and tired of people here keep pretending like all this stuff is Hunkle Bungle. And I'm exposed that.
Right. Cephus coming out guns ablazing, said he's sick and tired of the folks fooling with this fairy tale. It's causing mental disorders. Go ahead, Zion. It's on you.
All right, yeah, and I'll refute everything he just said, you know what I'm saying, and tell him that number one, that's a fallacy of equivocation argument at first, and then your other argument or strawman arguments in concerns with mental health being so the main point being is that no man has all the answers. Even in science, you have to have a structured ideal of what you believe the universe to be in order to make an assertion based on whether you're making a hypothesis or a thesis, you know what I'm saying, of what you believe the universe is. For instance, string theory. String theory is pondered by many scientific scholars in quantum physics, and however, you cannot prove that strings exist. The only thing that they have is the equations and other forms of evidence that would be more or less consequential, you know what I'm saying, to establish what they think, you know, the building blocks of the universe and the physical universe is. So essentially, human minds cannot be entirely objective. I said this before when I smushed what's his name outside the cube's head, right? You cannot be entirely objective. In fact, if you don't have a established form of beliefs within your mind, they call that disillusionment. And disillusionment is the basis for anxiety, depression, and other mental health disorders. This is one of the reasons why people in religion seem to have less of a rate of self-inflicted suicides and other maladaptive behaviors that would cause them, you know, further detriment to themselves and their families. Largely, people who have religious ideals. Now, we had already spoken about this, and I'll make this quick. We had already come to the conclusion that it wasn't religion or belief in itself that was the mental health disorder in our prior conversation. This is what he left out, y'all. The reality is that strong belief or fervent belief can lead to mental health instabilities. A lot of times people come in with mental health instabilities, and it's hidden within their religious ideological beliefs. So what this brother just made was an affirmative assertion, a generalization without any factual proof, and I'll yield.
All right. The brother came back and said, what was that D word you used? He said what was that you used? You said it was something happened. I can't remember what you said, but he said it had something to do with oh man, I forgot. I didn't get my pen, but I'm sorry. But he said something very important. Did you hear what he said, Cephus Black? Can you kind of rebuttal off what he said? He said something with a D.
Disillusion.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Go ahead and say that word, disillusionment. What was it called?
Right. Disillusionment is when a person loses all they lose all the beauty of life, right? And so in order for human beings to survive and to continue to progress, they have to have a their own understanding of the world that is considered in many senses an illusion of how they see the world. And this actually keeps people in a positive mind state, in a progressive mind state, in an inspired mind state that leads them to continue on. Otherwise, when you lose that, you go through depression, anxiety, and other forms of mental health disorders because you have no reason to live. The world is trash. The world is nothing.
So let's
Your life is nothing.
All right. So I'm glad you cleared that up. So go ahead, Cephas, kind of bounce off what the brother said. You have said in your beginning that religion is the cause of mental illness. He came back and responded with no. He said something about disillusional, and that people who don't believe in some kind of higher power, they're more likely for suicide and things of that nature. All right, go ahead, brother.
I think he's confused of what I'm really talking about. I'm not talking about anything outside of religion. I'm talking about religion is the cause of depression. I'm not talking about your belief outside of religion. And my main key argument here is that religion makes a person have anxiety, OCD, schizophrenia, other mental health problems. I can't think of ones on top of my head right now, but I got other more examples better once I come up with this debate. So I just want to put out there, we are really talking about religion causes mental illness, not outside of religion. So I do agree with him. Outside of religion, you have to believe in yourself to get be better than you was yesterday. You got to have a certain type of belief to carry on. But I'm not talking about a belief that's dealing outside of religion. I'm only talking about religion belief that's destroying our brothers and sisters' mental health.
Okay, so will you be in this debate? Will you be bringing some sources backing up your statement?
Most definitely, I got sources from neuroscientists, great professors in that, and other sources of professionals. So I'm not just coming off the top of my head, anything like that. Everything I come off, I'm gonna give the names in my lectures. I don't want to drop the jewels right now. So I got all the good stuff. I did my homework. I'm not just coming up with things.
All right, so I ain't got anything to say about that.
Yeah. It's very interesting because we earlier we had a conversation dealing with the Netaru, and he broke down, he came to this consensus that the Netaru were all symbolic. However, I'm saying, historically speaking, you can go all the way back to Akhenaten or even the first or second dynasty of the Kemetic people to see that they actually worshipped and venerated these anthropomorphic deities and images. And so really, in essence, really what the question is, and he doesn't have to answer, this is rhetorical, what I'm saying, obviously, is that the term religion, if you understand what the term religion can be any form of practice that you do on a regular basis, even brushing your teeth at a certain time, playing a video game when you're stressed out, anything that you do in a practice or in a routine. Hold on, brother, I'm still speaking, brother. You know what I'm saying? In form of a routine that is something that is called sacred to you. That's a sacred place for you to expel your energy, to transform your negative energy or whatever you deal with through stress and daily life. You know what I'm saying? That's called the sacred and the profane. And this is what the essence of religion is. What he is doing is he's confusing, like modern terms, the negative connotations that were placed on the word religion because of like the Catholic Church and all of these other institutions that have, been very destructive to our people. But if you go back to Egypt, you'll see that they had practices, they had holidays, they had ritual services, they had specific things that they wore, specific ways that they buried their dead. That is what religion means. And so in saying that, he's actually incorrect because he's not actually using the term religion for what it actually means. So I'll land it right there.
All right.
Religion,
so, Brother Cephus, would you say the religious part of it is only dealing with the Abrahamic faith and not the cosmology that you follow, which would be the Kemetic doctrine? Go ahead, brother.
That's a great question that you asked that, because I follow my main teacher is Dr. Walter Williams. So he basically would break down to you how the Netaru and all them Rosetta Stone haven't been deciphered, because the ones that been deciphered by the Frenchman, by the Europeans' mindset and culture. So anything that they decipher is based off their mindset and their culture. So I do not attach myself to any philosophy that's dealing with anything like that, because once again, even if our people come up with a new decipherment of the Rosetta Stone, still have the foundation of the Europeans. You know what I'm saying? And we can't trust that. So I'm coming after everything. Yes, not just the Abrahamic religions. You know what I'm saying? Every other religions, it do causes mental health. So hey, it is what it is. That's the truth.
That causes mental health or mental health issues, like disparities. Because when you say mental health, that's a good thing. I want mental health. I want my mental to be healthy. You see what I'm saying? You just said it causes mental health. I would agree
mental
with
health issues. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right,
Okay.
so yeah, I think we can move on to the next topic because he had a lot of things to say about His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I.
So,
I think that
let's make this clear. Now he's saying that his Egyptian, his Kemetic way of thought is not religious. So you're saying
yeah,
the Egyptians that you follow were not religious.
You're right, correct. It's not religion. Religion is man-made. This is all, spirituality. Our melanated pineal gland is our spirituality antenna. So that's the thing that help us create. We are creators. So our spirituality, the definition of spirituality is anything that's not materialistic. So like a book or a pen, that's material. So me just pondering, thinking, about myself, things like that, of advancements, of bettering myself, that's all spiritual, how to advance.
So you would agree with Zion's definition of religion?
No, he have a belief system. His definition of religion is well, first of all, let me not move too fast. Let him speak for himself on that one. Go first, you know what I'm saying? Then I respond. Which is
all right,
definitely
yeah, appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When it comes to the idea of what religion is, like, once again, I'll say that the broader scope of the definition of words is basically just the practice. So if you get up every morning and you do specific things before you go to work, you know what I'm saying, to prepare you for work, prepare you for your day, that is a religious practice. Religious means something that you do in an order. It's an order of practice, and that's transferred into religious organizations such as the church or the mosque, or Islam or whatever. Those things are transferred. When you go into a temple, whether it be a Kemetic, you know what I'm saying, whether it be a Judaic, you know what I'm saying, whether it be a Christian, there is an order of service. When you go into a courtroom, there is a procession of procedure that happens before the court case begins. And then even in the action that's going, there is procedure as well. That is a religiously practiced, ordered procession of events. This is what religion is. It's organization. So if you say you think about the things that would benefit you and better your life and better yourself, things like working out, you know what I'm saying, 3 days a week, eating right, certain things that you eat, certain things that you avoid, you right? That would be a dietary law. Right. So if we go back to the scriptures, we know that the law is the basis for how a people were to practice their moral and spiritual compasses so that they could socially live together and personally benefit from this religious practice, from practicing certain things, practicing the Sabbath, practicing the dietary laws, practicing laws that related to marriage and to, you know what I'm saying, to violating one's brothers and etc. etc. When you have a practice, you have an order, that is a religion. Very simple. Even in science, there is a religion. There is a process in which you have to come up with a theory, thesis, etc., etc. Before you can write a thesis statement, there is an order in which you have to do your research and present your case and your argument, and even how you have to write. There is an order. So religion is a part of man's everyday organizing oneself. That's the simplicity of that word. People get it misconstrued nowadays because I'm so spiritual, but every morning I pull out my stones and I hum a tone for my chakras. Get out of here. That's a religion. Every morning I get up and I give thanks to the creator and to the universe, and I look up at the sun and let the sun hit me on the forehead, and I embrace the universe and then get a. That's a religion. That is a practice. That is an order of procession of things that affect how you go about your daily life and benefit.
Okay. So let's go ahead and get the gangster Egyptians definition on what religion is, because if this gonna be the key word, we need to come to an agreement that y'all are debating about the same word. So let me ask you this, Zion, real quick. Do you feel that the Egyptians were not or were religious?
Extremely religious. Any empire, any civilization, even small tribes, all had to have religions in order to organize a group of people, whether it was a small group or a large group.
Okay. Cephus Black, go ahead, brother.
I would disagree on. I'm not going to say fully disagree. Half agree and half disagree with my brother here. So the things that I disagree with him when he say that religion is the same, what he said. So basically, like religion and rituals to me is different. The definition of like a religion is a way to God. You know what I'm saying? So religion is used to justify things. You know what I'm saying? To motivate others. You know, that's just one example. And like the ritual is something like how every day we all do the same ritual every day. Well, I hope we do, and that is brush our teeth. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't say that my ancestors was religious because religion is man-made. You know what I'm saying? It's man-made. So we are ritualists. I don't know if that's a word, not just going off the top of my head, more than anything. You know what I'm saying? So the rituals is what keep us show us like dedication, how dedicated we are to how can I put it? To our system, our spiritual system. You know what I'm saying? So religion is to bring into a person because you need an extra little push because you're not really understanding how to get there without these training wheels. Basically, if you ask and see, because Black religion is like training wheels on a bike, and once you get off religion, you take off them training wheels. Now you riding by yourself all good now. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say that because when you went to religion, you need a text, you need a doctrine to teach someone the proper way on how to go about things. Like you got multiple different religions, and like for the I'm gonna use for the Christians, they got so many different denominations. You know what I'm saying? But the only difference about all them denominations is the same religion, but different rituals. Some denominations don't want their women to wear pants. They just want them to wear skirts. You know, some of them don't want them to be Dinkins and all that. It's just different rituals. So rituals and religion to Cephus Black, the gangster Egyptian, is two different things.
Okay. Well, uh, I mean, if so, so you saying that basically he couldn't say anything about the Comedics and them being religious, that you said they're not in this debate because you're attacking the Abrahamic faith, but I'm saying he can't put the mirror in your face and well, brother,
Oh,
the
oh, sure,
Comedics
yeah. I mean, sure, yeah, because it's things, other things too that he's gonna bring up that I won't know too. I'm not sitting here saying that I know anything, everything. So I go all around the board. So I'm not saying that I just follow Walter Williams. I do follow other people and try to listen in and get all my thoughts together so I can make my selection on which I um, upload into my brain system, basically. So he can use all that because everyone listening to you and I'm learning too. You know what I'm saying? On people who do follow Kemet as a religion. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not just closing a blind ear to what I'm just trying to listen to. I'm trying to listen to everything. And that's what everyone should do.
Go ahead, Zion.
Got you. He keeps on bringing up the term man-made, and many things are man-made, even the toothbrush in our daily lives of brushing our teeth. You know what I'm saying? And people will argue against even the type of toothpaste you use if you use things with fluoride as opposed to stuff that has, organic other healthy alternative. You know what I'm saying? So whenever you're forming a construct of how you view the world, of what benefits you in the world, even the riding the bike analogy was, what I'm saying, was subpar in the sense, and no disrespect, brother, was subpar in the sense that the basic mechanics of riding the bike is always the same. The only difference is once you start riding it, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to learning how to balance the bike and pedal, you know what I'm saying, at the same time, keeping your balance, you know what I'm saying, is that now the religiously behavior, the religious behavior of pedaling and pushing off, you know what I'm saying, off one leg and pushing the pedal with the other, and you know what I'm saying, getting on and keeping your balance is now second nature, as opposed to you having to try and practice something. And this is what the purpose of a lot of behavior or law is, according to the Bible, and even in Kemetic, you know what I'm saying. Look at the 48 laws of Ma'at. You put up a thing with the ibis bird the other day and said something about Ma'at, and I was like, you know, that's Tahuti, right? But we know what Tahuti represents, and you break down the representation of what Tahuti is. Hold on, brother. And you broke down what the representation of what Tahuti is.
No, you interpret that wrong.
We ain't cutting each other wrong. I'm not chopping you.
When you're done, we're gonna come back to that, though.
I'm not chopping you. I'm talking about what you said. Yeah, I'm talking about
you
what you
interpreted my post wrong.
So
that's what you did last time. You're not
hold on, bro.
understanding.
You getting hot, bro. Hold on, bro. First and foremost, you did have Ma'at posted on in the caption.
I said Hotep Mayat. That's what I said. Don't
half of it off. Didn't have nothing to do with
Tahuti. You don't even know.
Hotep Ma'at, and then you have Tahuti sitting there, right?
Yeah, Tahuti is in a part of my crown. That's
why you getting upset, bro? Why you getting upset?
Yeah, because you interpret them
No, you don't have to.
Hold on. Let them finish, and then you correct them, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, let's have some decorum, brother. You're talking about mental health disorders, and you have to be able to at least exhibit some form of control. But neither here nor there. The reality is that when you started breaking down Tahuti, you were breaking down the spiritual principles, and I'm not in any disagreement with any of that you said. At the end of the day, I'd laugh because what you just did was exhibit a religious ideology. You spit it. You were correct in what you asserted about Tahuti and what it represented. However, the reality was that's a dogma. That's an ideology. That's a religious idea. And it was a religious practice that people worshipped and venerated Tahuti and all of this. Brother, you can't cut me off. You have to show some decorum, my brother.
You know what you're doing, bro.
Zion, hold on for a minute, okay? Let me pause for a minute. Cephus, you still gotta let him finish. There's order. You're gonna be able to correct him, but you can't interrupt him. People are watching. Okay, go Zion.
All right. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying, it seems like the brother is committed to misunderstanding where I'm coming from. And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? It all smoke, you know what I'm saying, is welcome. So essentially, when you say religion, you really have not, you don't have, I'll just put it this way. You don't look at it from the perspective that I have. And we're going to show which one is right and which one is wrong. I think at this point, you know what I'm saying, we can step away from this topic and get on the hot.
No, we're not, because I'm not done.
All right.
So like I was saying, you interpreted that my whole post and everything wrong, running your mouth, and you don't even know what you're talking about. All right. So let me break it down like I did to you before. All right. When I post my crown, it's because let me break it down all the way. My crown represents Tahuti. Do you know who Tahuti is? He represents articulate talk, articulate writing, and articulate everything. All right. I wear this crown so I can, when I look in the mirror, I look at myself as an articulate person. You know what I'm saying? So when I post that picture, Mayat Hotep, if you follow the people that I read, like one of them, I got that from Walter Williams. If you read his books, he used that as a greeting. For Mayat, it's for a woman, and Hotep is for a man. Hotep means peace, and Mahat means love. You greet that. If you even go to other people that's in the conscious community that's honorable, like Dr. Phil Valentine, most of his greetings is Hotep. All right. So people in the conscious community, not like yourself, will understand that because you don't have the knowledge of that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel heartbroken because we have people watching this and trying to get knowledge. But other than getting knowledge, we have brothers going at each other without the proper understanding and breaking things down like we know something that we really don't know. And we have people that's trying to learn. If I be quiet, then someone may take that to heart. But that was a greeting, and that was just giving honor to my hat because I keep that close to my heart. I land my plane there.
But that's the point that you're missing here, brother. That's the point that you just totally gleaned over.
Wait, Zion. Jeremiah Judah.
Yeah. Okay, let's say this real quick. Cephus is proclaiming that religion can cause mental health issues. Zion is saying, what religion are you talking about? A lot of things could be religious, brushing your teeth, bouncing the ball 8 times before you shoot your jump shot, putting your left leg in before your right. You have to be clear in this debate what religion, what do we mean by religion? Because he could go through a whole list of things people religiously do, and I don't think will cause mental illness. Like we religiously wake up every morning, put on our shoes, and we tired religiously.
I'm talking about scripture religion. I'm talking about if you a Hebrew, if you a Muslim, if you a Christian, if you are part of the Abrahamic religions. I mean, when we're gonna get real to the point with this. All right, since my man is the Rastafarian Israelite, we're gonna go with the Israel. Do that doctrine cause mental illness? How about that?
Okay, so it's a one-sided debate then. So can he say, well, brother, we can see things going on? And you're saying that only the Israelite doctrine causes it, or the Abrahamic faith, but not the Buddhism, Hinduism, or anyone who practice Orthodox Kemetic doctrine, right?
Yeah, all that. What I'm saying, I'm putting all religion in the same boat, brother. All religion. You can bring up any religion you want. All that's going in the same boat. No religion is excluded.
Okay. Okay. All right, Zion, what you think?
Once again, this is an oxymoron and absurdity. You know what I'm saying? He just got finished talking about how he religiously says a specific greeting that everyone else says, which would be in the community of Comedics who say this Hotep and say Ma'at Hotep, etc. He does that religiously, just like the rest of them, because he asserts himself and associates himself with them. And in so doing, he has a practice, just like we say Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. You know what I'm saying? That's peace, right? Hotep is peace. What is the difference? There is no difference, brother.
The difference is I don't believe.
Brother, stop cutting me off and have some decorum. Have some decorum, brother. I didn't cut you off at all. What's wrong with you? Can't control your emotions?
No, just keep going, Zion. Just with the information. Yeah. Cephus, yes. Don't do that, Cephus.
Nobody mad, bro. You the one who's mad. I'm over here chilling, yo. You know, the reality is that when you have any of these practices, those are called tenets of faith. There's another thing that they're also called when I forget the word. I'll have it for you in the debate. But there's another word for it that deals with even the wear, the clothing. For instance, wearing your hats is no different than me wearing fringes or wearing a Rasta turban. You know what I'm saying? Or rocking my beads. You know what I'm saying? From my kung fu school, or rocking my Ites golden green. You know what I'm saying? Bracelet. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? etc. And all of these things, these are practices that we associate with a specific cultural pride, identity, practice that is considered a religious practice, not from the standpoint of a religious institution, but a practice that is commonly done by people who are associated with specific ideologies and ideals. If I specifically deal with Rastafari, then you're going to see red, yellow, and green. You're going to see turbans. You're going to see, you know what I'm saying, lions of the tribe of Judah. You're going to see pins of Haile Selassie on my chest. You're going to have that, right? And with you, since you're the gangster Egyptian, you know what I'm saying, you're going to have your Tahuti hat, your crown. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have what you have on your head in your image right there. You know what I'm saying? You're going to cross your arms. You're going to say Ma'at Hotep Ra, whatever, you know what I'm saying, et cetera, et cetera. You are adhering to a practice that is a religious practice, my brother. And that is where you fail. That's where you missed the mark. I wasn't talking about whether Ma'at was, you know what I'm saying, had anything to do with the hat, because I literally went from that to the Tahuti thing and your breakdown of Tahuti. You wanted to jumped the gun and think what I was saying was wrong, but what you did was actually shoot yourself in the foot and prove me right. Once again, my nigga.
Yo.
All right, so we got the first topic set, right? Yeah, first topic is excuse me. Can religion cause mental illness? What do you mean by? So you said, can the Abrahamic faith cause mental illness?
Hey, whatever religion whatever.
Okay, all right, thank
you.
you. Can religion cause mental illness?
Religion,
all
period. Right. That's what I said in the beginning.
Okay, that's the title for the first topic. Okay, now what was your second discussion?
I want I go on his boy, the Lord Ethiopian racist king. Selassie, Haile Selassie.
Okay, can you get into what you mean? Can you tell the audience what you're going for?
I want to expose him on how. I want to expose him on how he's not who he say he is. He's not for black people. He's anti-black. He has slaves and all that other stuff. So I got all the proof from the professors and things like that.
Okay.
Yep. He's not no Pan-African. He don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wait. So what is your title for this? Haile Selassie is what?
Is anti-black no, not saying that. Hold on. Let's see.
Zion, is there any topics you want to bring to him?
No. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna smush his head on this because this is once again an absurd assertion without any foundation. It goes against everything that the man freaking goddamn did in his life.
Well, we got other professors to say differently, and I'm pretty sure people would like to hear the other professors.
I can show you other professors that say otherwise too.
Hey, that's the whole point of debates, to give people something they never heard before. So you got professors that say differently. I got other professors that say differently. So
it's like, I don't care what the professors say. I can show you what he did and what came out of his mouth.
And I can show you what he had did too. Okay,
yeah,
so
he false.
He falls. Hey, don't get mad at the messenger, dog.
I'm not mad. You see, that's your narcissism. I'm not mad at you. I'm enjoying smushing you.
When he on the phone, he do not talk like this. You play a wild card. I tell you that, bro. You play a wild card.
Yeah, I talk the same way. You talking about
real calm, bro. But look,
yeah, because I got my lady now. You know what I'm saying? Like, see, when I had all of that raw masculine, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm glad you got the lady.
Yeah, but we don't do that live anyways when we having a discussion. You know how the debates run. They don't run like the back chats.
Right. So yeah. So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So here's a very interesting thing. You know what I'm saying? I have tons of information, a plethora of information. I have plethora of photographs. You have the OAU. You're talking about he's against Pan-Africanism when he was the first person who actually unified, you know what I'm saying, all African nations under the Organization of African Unity in itself. You know what I'm saying? The brother went to North America, to the Caribbean islands. He went to every country where there were dark people who were oppressed by white supremacy. He was huge. This is one of the reasons why he is the most decorated man in freaking history. You know what I'm saying? This man want to tell you that he supported slavery. You can't be a slave trader and be a part of the League of Nations and the United Nations. It's impossible, right? So what he doesn't realize is that, you know what I'm saying, Haile Selassie had begun the process of abolishing slavery back in 1926, but he had saw the deprivation that it caused many of the African Americans in America, and so he had a plan, a progressive plan of how to slowly enact and be able to enforce these anti-slavery abolishment laws, because prior to the other rulers who were in Ethiopia attempted to do this and could not enforce it, and so slavery, the slave trade and such, continued amongst many of the Muslims and other cultures that existed in the Ethiopian geographic region. But he did not want people to be poor. He did not want people to just be dispersed and have no place to go. He had to slowly enact that, and then after that, establish a structure in which the enforcement of these laws could also exist. It wasn't a one-day thing. You don't build Rome in a day, my brother Cephus Black. Okay, so from 1926 all throughout, and then from 1932, when he was established on the throne, you can see throughout all of his constitutions and the amendments, all of his anti-slavery abolishment laws, all throughout his works, his own works, not what some white folk who wanted to try and defame this black sovereign leader in a country that had been totally and entirely colonized. You want to believe that all of the things, the negative things and propaganda that white folks had propagated.
Say country or continent that was colonized.
So the whole entire continent was colonized. The only place that wasn't was Ethiopia.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
The only place that was not colonized was Ethiopia, and this was one of the greatest issues, thorns in the side of white supremacy.
Because the whole family was had slaves. They was with the white man. So and my source is not the white man either. I want to put that out. Yes, it was. You do your studies. The whole bloodline had slaves, and they
hold on, Zion. Let him go. Let him go.
The whole bloodline had slaves. Do your homework, people. The Melkite, the guy before him, he was in a slave trade heavy too. Though it was, I think it was dang, wait till we had this debate, because I'm gonna bring it all up.
Menelik, brother.
Yeah, you know better than me. Menelik, he had a lot of slaves. He was doing that too. The guy before him, had slaves, and Selassie, the guy, he had in his biography had thank his predecessors for joining the slave trade. And your boy Selassie don't even claim to be black.
Well, it's gonna be a good debate here, boy. Now, I want all these claims that y'all making. Make sure y'all bring sources to this. See,
right.
Cephus, can you give him 5 reasons why we should not deal with Haile Selassie? And you state those claims, and then that way he'll be able to defend it in the debate? Or are we doing ambush topics that you're going to just throw out?
Sorry, topics, you know what I'm saying? Vice versa.
So can I respond to this?
Yeah, I'm just trying to go ahead.
All right, so here's the fallacy of what this brother just said. See, most people think that Haile Selassie did not claim to be black, and that's an actual fact. Even Jamaicans and Haitians don't claim to be black, nor do Dominicans or Puerto Ricans claim to be black, because that is a term that was created by the Bacon Rebellion in fucking goddamn 82. Here in America, the term black is not a nationality. All right, the term black does not transpire over to the continent. The reality is that people got confused with what they call the Hermetic hypothesis, which named every single North African as Caucasian. Caucasian does not mean white. It is simply a racial classification that was coined by specific white superiority complex scholars who wanted to separate Northern Africa and its civilizations and its history and its rich history from Southern Saharan Africa, so that they could justify the slave trade here in America. So what the brother is really and truly missing is really the context of what was going on. He misunderstands that he did, but he said that I am an African, and he did not separate. Now, in his speech, that was the most popular speech that he did in the Geneva Conference, he said, until the philosophy which holds one race superior and another inferior is totally and permanently abolished and abandoned, there will be war. And so he was speaking against slavery. He was speaking against white supremacy. He was speaking against the white supremacist regimes who had mistreated him during the Italian-Ethiopian war, with Mussolini attacking them and calling them a bunch of black savages. He knew who he was. He knew who his people were. And I can show you photos of him joining hands with other African leaders such as Jomo Kenyatta and all of the other powerhouses of the Black Liberation Front in Africa at that time. He was the head, and they were glad to put him on that seat. Now, if you want to really get deep into this whole situation, you want to get into the feudalism. Okay, I had some sources. I don't really bring sources to the discussion, but here in this one source, this article, it talks about the difference and why Haile Selassie did not, just like many other Africans who had slaves. Mansa Musa didn't have slaves. This new movie about the woman king. She had slaves and was extremely influential in the slave trade. You think that many of these African, you think pharaohs didn't have slaves? In fact, many pharaohs, when they died, their servants were buried alive with them so that they could serve them in the underworld. How dare you? See, what most Negroes have is something called the magical Negro complex. And they think that for some reason, black folk and black kings and black royalty all over the globe was supposed to be extremely morally sound and freaking righteous. And we know in the Bible that even many of the kings, David to Solomon, you can go to Akhenaten, you can go to King Tut, you can go to any king throughout any dynastic era in Africa or in any other place and see that they had servants, slaves, etc., right? But you would turn around and romanticize their slavery and say their slavery was not the same as the slavery that was inflicted upon Africans. This is not the same as chattel slavery, and so therefore it was a cultural, traditional practice where people were joined into families and could marry other people's daughters, and they lived, you know what I'm saying, under the wealth of somebody else's house as servants, but were not treated to say, come on, brother, you full of sugar, honey, iced tea. If you want to try and minimize this African king who came up in a feudal system where slavery was in fact in play, and then later on by 1926 begin his plan to abolish it, you are the person who is faulty in your information. But you know, I mean, if you had an uncle who actually worked for Haile Selassie like me, maybe you know a little bit about the man.
Yo, oh,
I rest my plane.
woo, that is funny, brother. But I read the parts that you read too, though, so I'm all familiar with what you're talking about right now. But it's gonna be interesting. So, what's the title of this part of the debate going to be?
You can say, you know, was Haile Selassie a man to be revered or to be discarded in the conscious community?
Okay.
How's that sound?
Let me think about that for a minute.
All right. I mean, we can shorten it up somehow.
Yeah, because I mean, Cephus, you trying to tell the people we shouldn't fool with them. So I think
People got that mixed feelings about. Some people love them, and people like me that know differently look at them differently. So my job is to
so you gonna
expose.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, my job is just to expose the things that people just don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people don't know the certain things that I might bring up to them later on in the debate about this guy. So I want to get this information out here to the people.
So how do we judge that round? more good deeds and bad, or you got more bad deeds and he got good? How do we judge that round there? I want to know before we get into it. Go ahead, y'all.
I would think we'll leave that round, maybe just a guess. Maybe we leave that round up to the people, because that's something for the people to decide. Because once again, it's both informations about this one guy, and so I don't really know how we're gonna judge that one.
Do y'all want judges or do y'all want a poll?
It can go either way for me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I prefer judges if we can get them, but sometimes you can't get the judges. You know what I mean? We can do a poll.
What kind of judges would y'all be comfortable with? What kind of judges would y'all be comfortable?
We're going to need
what kind of background would they need to have?
We need equal people on both sides. So you can have two of his Israelite friends and two of conscious people, that know good. You could do Ak for me. He could be one of the judges too, so make it an even judge panel. That'd probably be good. Or odd. I don't know how would that work out.
Yeah, we could rock out. We could do it either way. You know what I'm saying? Do a poll and
how about
some judges? Yeah. Even though most Israelite judges wouldn't side with me necessarily on Haile Selassie himself either. But that's up for debate, I guess.
That's the tough part. Unless we take the poll and the audience while they watch it. I mean, after the debate, or y'all want to do that?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'll work. Yep.
People in the audience. So that means both of y'all better be cheerleading your friends and come to the goddamn debate. You better be promoting this like you running for president. Come vote for me. Come watch. That's how you do it, man.
All right, that sounds good.
If the promoter can't be doing all the work, you got to do it. If this a poll vote, it's like you're running for president. Come vote for JJ.
Right.
You might give your fans a little preliminary. This is what I'm gonna do to this guy. Make sure y'all come. You go on your Facebook Live, and that's how you do it. Trust me, I'll be promoting the debate too.
Right.
It's gonna be a fair debate. So we do a poll, but then we also we still can have the 2 and 2, because after the debate, they can each question y'all one question apiece, each judge. Y'all good with that? And then we go to the poll.
I have no problems with it. Yeah.
Okay.
You see, that way it's interaction with the people. It's interaction. You know what I mean? Yep. So the people will be deciding this vote. I mean, this right here. The people that come watch it. Yep. No other poll outside the people that come watch. So it's up to y'all to tell the people, your friends, to come watch it. It's gonna be regular people in the audience that's in the audience right now. But if I was y'all, I would say, come on, because both of y'all don't. I wouldn't do this like with a gorilla Hebrew, because he'd bring his whole goddamn camp. 300 people strong to come vote for him. He's still dead wrong in the argument. But both of y'all don't have no big following, like a big camp of following. So I think it'd be fair. So now it's up to y'all to put in the work. Yeah, man, come check me out, man. Come support your boy in this debate. You go into your detail, man. This guy talking about this. Yeah, man. Come on, man. Come check me out. That's how you do that.
Come.
Oh yeah. Okay. So that's 2 rounds. So what's the third round topic gonna be?
That's 2 rounds. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We can debate on whether the Netaru were actual deities to the Egyptians or were they symbolic.
What you think about that, Cephus Black?
No, that's not a good debate, because I don't subscribe to them being what do you call it? Deities, real
ontological beings. They weren't ontological,
right?
So do you believe that the Egyptians? Do you believe that the Egyptians believed that they were?
No.
You don't believe the ancient Egyptians believed that they were ontological beings, and you won't debate me on this?
Nope.
Oh, hey. He let the Wu Jais and the Bars of the world down. Hey, what's that in y'all literature? Who will stand for me on the top of the Ankh? and fight for Kemet. Competech spell 785-6.
Yeah,
Go
that
look
would
at
be
it.
a difficult debate for me because I only look at them one way. So I only got.
But this is not about how you look at them. The question is how did the ancient Egyptians look at them? That's the question.
Right. See, you got to be fair with that, man. Now, would you agree that the ancient Egyptians looked at them that way? Or are you saying no?
No, I wouldn't agree with that.
But then they take that third
That's the
round,
debate,
make them
bro.
out, bro.
Take that.
Yeah, because
Take
he
that.
already doing two biblical ones for you, and the 2 rounds towards kind of what you want to do.
Okay.
Give them that round.
Okay. All right. I agree with that then.
Okay, so now we got 3 different topics. What are we calling this debate? We just gonna say, okay, what was the first one? The first one is, or second one is Haile Selassie.
The first one is the religion.
Oh, okay, and then I
Right,
guess
religion and mental health.
you put all 3 of them on. Okay, now how do
Religion,
we
mental health.
Wait.
Religion. Go ahead.
How do we fit the question round on that for y'all?
I mean, it could be random from either part of the debate. You know what I'm saying?
Could it be after your first? See that's rough right there. Okay, so the question. Okay, so then do y'all do a 5-minute interrogation round each other, and then for each round y'all probably can squeeze in the questions that y'all went over in each. You know what I'm saying? Each of your 3 rounds. 5 minutes not enough.
No, you can let the judges get the question in after they done with their first argument. Once they done with their first argument, and then the judges can ask, and then when they move on to their second debate, then judges can ask, and then the third one they can ask every time at the end, and then move on.
Okay, so get the judges involved early.
Yes.
Okay. And then that way. Okay. All right.
So they won't run off too.
You don't want them to interact with each other.
Right.
Okay. So well, they're not the judges really, cream. They're just the panelists.
Yeah. You know.
Okay. I mean, if they like that format, that's up to them. Every format don't have to be the same. Oh, we got we got the Commanding General Yashar in the building. Shalom, Mark. Shalom.
Shalom, family. Is it cool after the judges ask questions that I ask questions?
So there ain't gonna be no judges. It's gonna be panelists. So if you want to be on the panel, you could be one of the people on the panel.
Okay.
We're gonna have 2 Hebrews and 2 Comedics on the panel. And then, like I say, then the people in the audience.
You already got your 2 brews that you're gonna have on the panel?
Now, cause this just a preliminary, so we just now figuring it out right now.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna stick around and just listen.
All right, bet. So you don't want them to have a going back and forth round. You want more of the judges just to each round they ask them their 1 question apiece, and then you go to the second round, and the judges come back and they ask each person 1 question apiece.
Yes, and then at the third round, then they can go do the back and forth at the third round.
The third round, back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds cool. And then after that, a closing statement. Then the people can vote. So y'all get like a 3-minute closing statement.
Right. Open and a close.
Okay, you get an open in 3 minutes. And then, now how long your rounds going to be? Is 10 minutes cool?
I think 10 minutes is good.
10 would be good, right? Because all the other stuff you got going with the judges.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll work. Okay, now the first topic is does religion cause mental health? The second topic is
mental health is.
Sorry. Yeah, mental health issues. The second topic is Haile Selassie. Should he be revered or dismissed as a great leader for us, I guess, something like that. How y'all want to word that? Should it be revered, revered, or what's the negative word?
Say venerated, or
Huh?
should Haile Selassie be venerated or dismissed in the conscious community?
Okay. All right. And then the third round, did the ancient Kemetix believe that these deities were real or just a principle? Right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds interesting. I can rock with that. I'm glad somebody
When we
finally
say
gave me
real, we
debate.
talking about in the sense of like the half of the animal and half of the human body type of real, like that.
Okay. You know how we over here we think that we say our God is like real. Did they look at it like they worship him as real?
Like
They
ritual.
prayed to it and did rituals.
No.
You saying no? Okay,
No,
that's
man.
okay. And Zion is saying, yeah,
Yeah.
it did. Okay, so you saying it now here? So let's be clear. All right, 3-minute opening rounds, three 10-minute rounds with the judges coming in and ask each person one question apiece, which those questions have to be answered within 2 minutes. All right, give you 2 minutes to get into your detail. So 3 rounds of doing that. Just for the first and second round. In the third round, y'all get to go put each other. I guess put each other in the hot seat for 5 minutes apiece, Kareem?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you know what I'm saying? And like, he asks a question, and you have like maybe what? Can you wrap up the question he asked you within 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
You know, kind of rapid fire answer. You know, instead of getting you know what I mean? Because by the time the end of the debate, you just showed everything, so you should be able to answer, the question within 30 seconds.
I agree.
Right? So then, okay. So then he'll switch. Then you'll do him for 5 minutes of interrogation. Then he'll interrogate you. Then after that, y'all do your 3-minute closing. Then we go to the audience. Yeah, cause I like how you work the judges in there already. So yeah, had it. I mean, not the judges, but the people on the panel. So they'd be kind of involved in the debate all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know they don't try this at home. All right. This is for professionals. Next week he'll be done. I already know. Okay, so that sounds cool. All right, man. So yeah, man, I'm glad we're getting back to these debates, man. Discussions is cool, but this is what I like. A lot of people say, I like discussions more. All right, that's cool. We can do both, but let's do 50-50. Maybe a lot of people talking, and then when it's time to do this, they don't show up or something didn't happen. The book got caught in a tornado during the blizzard. Hey, Greg Phillips made up so many goddamn excuses one time. It was a hurricane in Chicago, and the dog ate
his phone.
What did he say, Kareem? I'm gonna mute my mic.
The dog ate his information. His phone got messed up in a blizzard.
Yeah.
Well, Cephus Black, the gangster Egyptian, don't run, and I've been saving my windows since I've been talking about this.
Yeah, so as he got out of Facebook jail, I'm the first person he contacted. Hey man, where they at? Where's Zion at? I'm out.
Oh, you was in Facebook jail?
I said, oh shit. Yeah. So as he got out, he got in my inbox. He said, where's Zion at? So, I think I contacted him.
No.
Yeah, so for those that's actually looking, this is how it's presented. So if you have a disagreement and you want to present it, or you want to have a preliminary or a debate on the matter, the discussion is the discussion. You don't have to agree with it. You can just switch the channel and come back when you like some things. But this is what you do. Where's the people that wants to debate people? This is what you do. You have a disagreement. This is how it's done in order.
Right. Look, I be wanting to see debate so bad. I had to, and nobody else be debating. I had to get in one myself. I be want to see other people debate. I'm tired of debating. And then the same people running, Garfield, Rob Bourne, all the dudes running. Jabari and Garfield should have been debated. How can Garfield have a debate today, but you didn't put Jabari, y'all done put this shit off for that damn a year and a couple of months now. You guys play games, man. And then and you know, the brother that's trying to start his new league, shout out to DMG, you know. But I told him if you're trying to start a league, you cannot have your moderators in there. It's like an echo chamber. The same moderators that was over on Garfield channel came over there with him that was already moderated in his chat. So you got Tamika Florida, you got Black Line Supreme, you got Pure Black. Now they're in there. They're going against the debater. They you know, they agree with Garfield. They talking shit about the debater, right? Not only they doing that, then they're erasing people like Yasser bin Israel's comments and my comments and other people who was in support of the Slim Reaper. So then how do you run people off, and then after the debate you take a poll to see who won? And this is why I had to get to.
All right, y'all, let's get into the debate. You know what I'm saying? This is just the preliminary. That's the beginning right there. That was 1 hour. Next part that I will be sharing right now is the actual debate. And on top of that, let me show y'all something. I'll show it to you at the end. I'll show you the results of the YouTube poll, where I have 73% of the votes. I literally smushed Cephus Black's head in. He's done. Okay? So right now, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to the actual debate. And you'll follow this. And anybody who's listening, y'all can see each other's PowerPoints. Each of the contenders, myself, Zion Warchild, the Smushinator, the Smusher of heads, wipe your mouth off, fix your face. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to see why I totally dismantled this brother. All right? So let's get it in. Right now, this is the debate. Pardon the glitches.
Brought to you by Common Sense. I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you.
Welcome to the Lions Den. 144 men on the rise again. Yes. And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever get respect. Real. Welcome to the Lions Den. 144 men on the rise again. Yes. And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever get respect. To the Jeremiah, I'm finna bring the fire. Cause on the second turn, you don't crucify the Messiah. Roaring like a lion instead of being defiant. You better come together and try to form an alliance. Black Jesus minister, new heavyweight champ. Finna turn the lights on instead of using a lamp. They try to keep up with us, but they leg is catching a cramp. Hebrew Israelites, now that's the name of the camp. That's a divine prospect, shout out to the brother Ron. When they see the Hebrews, other ideologies run. Then apologies come, forever calling us dumb. Bringing all of the facts and leave them silent and numb. So Kwam Yasha Allah, call up Danya Allah. We got no problem, tell the truth and we follow. Got skilled debaters, like Michael Edwards. We never go run, PowerPoint, we bring the lecture. Welcome to the Lions Den, 144 men on the rise again. Yes. And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever get respect. Real. Welcome to the Lions Den, 144 men on the rise again. Yes. And And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever get respect. We see you talking down when you're doing your interviews. We got a multitude of knowledge, so how could we lose? Used to be in the gang, so I give them the blues. Welcome to the Lions Den, we deep when we face you. I know it's hard to understand your ancestors was a slave, but challenging biblical knowledge, homie, we did great. Intellectually, I know you really hear me, you're standing right here next to me. Yeah, you gon' get this work. When the father don't spend his time, that mean he fit this curse. Be the people like it or not, take a look at your block. The rise of AOC, Masharaya, Sha'ala, cause we got it on lock. Identified through our conditions, try to label us African without permission. Never laying down, tapping out, no submission. See us in the streets every day, we on a mission. Welcome to the Lions Den, 144 men on the rise again. Yes. And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever get respect. Real. Welcome to the Lions Den, 144 men on the rise again. Yes. And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever get respect. Real.
We get a certain type of treatment in the conscious community. We get a certain type of treatment in the conscious community of which you are at the forefront of, Sonetta. So what we're saying is that we want to have a dialogue and discussion about what is good for Black people and what should we be dealing with within our communities and our faith. Man, we wanted to have an intelligent.
Welcome to the Lions Den. 140 men on the line again. I kind of messed with the lyrics, but you know what I'm saying. Welcome to the den, man. We got a powerful goddamn debate coming up today. You hear me? Before we get into it, I always got to introduce the queen, Sister Karima, in the building.
Shalom to everybody that's watching. Shalom to those that's watching on Bingo. Hopefully you enjoy this debate between these two brothers. May the best debater win.
That's right. Welcome to the Lions Den, man. These brothers been building this up for the last month, probably about a month, 3 weeks, something like that. So this is to me, it's a very important topic. But before we get into that, we got Yasha, the lion in the building, aka Daquan. Go ahead, Aki.
Yeah, I only see 5 people in here, Jason.
Oh, okay, he must have fell off. All right. Well, I'm sorry about that, everybody in viewing land. We got the brother Mad Scientist in the building. This brother's full of information, man. Y'all get to know, subscribe to the channel. Go ahead, Aki.
Yeah, peace. Everybody said the true knowledge. You catch me on Facebook, TikTok, and Bing, and my YouTube, Eric the Mad Scientist, the DA, not the THE, but Dub Mad Scientist. I'm just here to watch a great debate between 2 brothers that I know. You know what I'm saying? I know they're intelligent. I know they'll bring real information. And, you know, I hope y'all learn from the information they putting out. And, you know, I'm going to get up.
Hello? Y'all hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, he fell off.
Question they so peace to y'all.
All right. We didn't hear your last part, man. Go ahead and say it again.
Oh, I said when I do my questioning, I'm gonna try to question as a listener, as one of the fans in the comments. I'm gonna try to question as somebody that's listening to just in case, you know, so y'all get the information out. Cause I'm gonna be a student today listening, and my questioning will come based off of that. It's not gonna come based off of what I know or anything. It's based off what y'all show. So peace.
All right. Now what do you know what you show? Sister Kurt, can you put the link in the chat for everybody else, you know, that want to jump on the panel? We need about at least 3 or 4 y'all up here. At least 3 more. So y'all can question both debaters. You know. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get to the challenger in the building, the gangster Egyptian, Cephus Black, all the way from BMO. Go ahead, Aki.
Well, y'all know who it is. It's Cephus Black, the gangster Egyptian, coming from Baltimore, and I'm here to bring some awareness.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I hear him.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Just to bring some awareness to the community about the information I'm spilled out today about mental health, religion dealing with mental health and belief and all that good stuff.
All right. What about the other two topics? You know what I'm saying? Did the ancient Kemetic believe that that the natural rules were just a deity, or did they look at it as being a god? And also your third topic, uh, the Haile Selassie can Haile Selassie be looked at as a a hero in the black community? So but the main topic that CeeLo's, that Cephus Black is talking about is the mental illness thing. All right. Before we get into the Lions Den Intercontinental Champion, we got to go ahead and introduce you Charlotte Lion. Go ahead, family.
Hey, shalom, family. What's the good word?
You tell us, man. It's your introduction, family.
Look, it's your Charlotte, it's your Charlotte Lion, man. AK Daquan. What's going on, family? Here to just show support for this Raider Rumble debate. AK, hot topic.
Yeah.
They doing a debate or doing discussion?
This is debate, man. 3 different.
Oh, it's
topics.
okay. So we about to get it in. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I've always done, man. I'm not biased, man. Cephus Black come with that knowledge and put the smack down on my man War Child's Candy ass, then it is what it is. So let's get it on, y'all.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. And he said that's a Kemetic, so it's not biased over here. All right, everybody. It's time to rumble. You know what I'm saying? These guys is ready to bring this information to the forefront. It's up to you to sit there and be non-biased, write down notes, and compare. Comparative studies is what we got going on today. I don't want none of this bias stuff going on for the people in the audience. Anybody else? But before we get into it, we got one of our top contenders in the Lions Den, aka TKO to Corey Dawson. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Aki.
Peace, and blessings to the family. But this should be some 3 interesting topics that the two brothers gonna be going in today. Cephus Black and Xion Warren. Man, I'm looking forward to this debate. You know what I'm saying? Just being on the panel to support both of the brothers. Peace.
All right, all the way from Houston, Texas. So Corey TKO Dawson in the building. All right, now what we're gonna be doing here, like I said, everybody out there in viewing land, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're gonna have 3 different topics with these guys. These guys have challenged themselves not to just discuss one topic, but 3. Something like what JJ 7000 did with the problem. We had a couple of different topics. This is what we do. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That challenge your intellect. That challenge your research. So we're gonna start off with these brothers go ahead and giving us maybe a 3-minute introduction and set their premise on this first topic. So we're gonna start off with Cephus Black. Go ahead, Aki. Karima, can you get the clock out to 3 minutes for him?
All right, hold on.
We're gonna leave it up to the audience, right, to vote for this debate, and also we're gonna put a poll up for 72 hours. That way, each debater can go ahead and propagate their information like they're running for president. Meaning, hey, brother, did you see my debate? Go ahead and vote for JJ 7000. We got 72 hours to prove that I will whoop their ass. You understand? Go ahead, Cephus Black. It's on you.
All right, so I'm here to show y'all today that how religion belief basically is a mental illness for our community, and how the study of religion, the practices of religion, even dealing with the rituals, results into a mental illness. For example, like OCD and other forms of mild forms of schizophrenia. And I'm here to show you that most of the characters in the Bible, not most, but all of the characters of the Bible have a form of mental illness. And I'm here to also to explain to you that with facts and with neuroscientists, with other highly looked at professionals like Walter Williams, and with a couple other different diagnoses too that involve people with no symptoms, with no history of OCD or schizophrenia, can come down with a mental illness just by visiting a place. And so in my PowerPoint in my lecture here, I have examples and videos of professionals talking about what I am discussing to y'all today. And so I'm gonna end it right there and get prepared to show my screen.
All right. All right. Now we got the Lions Den Intercontinental Champion in the building. And I'm going to let him lay down his premise for this first round debate as far as this topic. Go ahead, Aki.
God, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Shalom, family. You know what I'm saying? Shalom to everybody on the panel in the building. You know what I mean? Lions Den in the building. Yeah, so basically, this brother, his statement is absurd in itself because there's overwhelming evidence that proves that a religion actually is a positive pro-adaptive tool that people practice, you know what I'm saying, that actually causes families personal positive mental states with people who do engage in religious practice, and socially with groups of people, larger groups of people who practice religion. Oftentimes, you know what I'm saying, that's beneficial to a larger group of people. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be an institution, whether it be a nation, etc., etc. Religion plays a positive role in people's health, the overall health of marriages and families, and also social context, groups of people like nations, etc., tribes, whatever, cultures, you know what I mean? All of those things are positively affected by religious practice, you know, and the overwhelming evidence, you know what I'm saying, establishes that. When I rest.
All right. So both of these brothers have laid their premise for this first round topic in debate. I'm sorry, what you say, brother? Okay, he has his mic unmuted. All right. So remember, everybody that's out there listening, I want y'all to take notes, pay attention to the topic, look at this in an unbiased view, and that way you're not cheating yourself, you know, with the information. So who's going first? And Kareem, get the clock out. They got 10-minute rounds.
I'm going first.
All right, so Kareem, get the clock going, brother. Get it in. Shout out to Lions Den Debate League, Black Jesus Ministry, Think Production, Black Beauty Inc., Sandpit Records. Everybody that's in affiliation with the Lions Den, man. We've been doing this for over the years, man. I appreciate everybody that's been a part of it. You know? You gotta give people their flowers and their roses and all that type of stuff while they're alive. That's how I look at it. All right. So here we go. Let's get it in. Cephus Black, the gangster Egyptian. You on the floor.
All right. Can you see my screen just to make sure?
Okay. Yeah, share screen before the time start.
Yeah. Y'all see that?
Yes, we do.
All right, back. All right. So belief/religion can cause mental health/illness. All right, by Cephus Black. We have a beautiful, nice slide for y'all. We're gonna get it in today. So before we start getting into all the good parts, we're gonna get into a little bit of definitions here and there. So the first definition I got up for my people to study for themselves and go over in the proper area themselves and make sure I'm correct. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, what is the definition of belief? All right. So it is accepting something that is not true with no evidence, brothers and sisters. The definition of belief. You have to accept it because you don't have the facts, the evidence to prove that is true. So you have to believe it to put that belief in that place to fulfill that void. So belief is a unverified thought. All right. Faith is the same as belief. Now follow me where I'm going here now. Belief have us confused on what is reality and what is mythology. All right. It have us confused to where we can't even know the thin line to separate that from. So it keeps us ignorant. Belief keeps us lost of who we are because we believe of who we are. Now, once again, I just told you, belief is an unverified thought. So if you believe in who you are, you don't really know who you are. All right. Belief keep you in a fairy tale state of mind, a fairy tale world. All right. That's that definition right there, belief. What is the definition of mental disorder? A mental disorder is a wide range of conditions that affect mood. That's what we're talking about today. Thinking, that's what we're talking about today. And also that behavior. All right. Anxiety disorder, schizophrenia, obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, when I say schizophrenia, also, ladies and gentlemen, is not schizophrenia like full-blown schizophrenia. It's a form of schizophrenia. Now, my next slide here, I'm going to show you. Schizotypal is a mild form of schizophrenia. I probably pronounced that wrong, but bear with me. Schizotypal is considered to be a mild form of schizophrenia, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, now you know. This is very important. This is where most of our people fall short from. Now, this schizotypical condition right here is not a serious. It's not a serious schizophrenia condition. So you're in a borderline between you can operate, maintain a job. I mean, you can operate life normally and things like that. But it's just a mild form of schizophrenia. It is characterized by such psychotic symptoms as ideas of reference and magical thinking. Yes. So I talked to my brothers before about this magic thing. And I don't agree with this magic thing because it puts you in a schizotypical form of thinking, in which is not really normal. It's out of the abnormal. All right, especially when you hit a point of your life of maturity. All right. So you have illusions and inappropriate or flattening effects, and people who take fairy tales seriously. All right. So it's a different form of schizophrenia. You can look that word up, write that down, because that's very important, because that's what we suffer from and we don't know it. All right. I also have here a couple articles, a couple psychology professors right here that consider the belief in God in the sky is a mental illness. Now I'm gonna try to hit this for y'all so y'all can see as I'm going along. We go fast with it. Do you believe in God? Some consider it a mental illness. All right. The American Psychological Association, after a 5-year study on devotedly religious people, will now consider an unsalable belief in a deity or a higher power to a point where it impairs one's ability to make conscious decisions about common sense matters as a mental illness. Right? I need to slow down. I get kind of excited. All right. So as I go on, it's a other interesting point too, because we goes down to rituals. Rituals is another thing of OCD, another form of OCD. And so I was telling you about how our religious leaders have, most of them have forms of mental illness problems, OCD problems, and it passes on down to the people who try to study them type of religions. For example, one that get introduced for Islam, they slightly become a OCD patient, basically, because you have to pray so many times a day, and if you don't do it right, if you don't pray enough 6 times, or just do it 2 times, it's just not enough. So as I continue to read, Ben El-Ari created rituals that began to be accepted and used by his many followers throughout the monophysite world. Whenever Ari went, he performed his created rituals called the pilgrimage to Hajj. Ari symbolically performed the Hajj in which water was poured in a circle, after which Ari began to go around and around this circle, throwing stones and chanting prayers that signifying the casting out or getting rid of personal sin. Today in Mecca and Kaaba, shrine is used to perform this ritual. It is used in the Islamic ritual to the Hajj in conjunction with chanting prayers and casting or throwing stones in circles of supposed holy water or the spring of supposed Ishmael, called the Zemzem. Praying 6 or more times a day is a mental illness, a form of OCD. One of the reasons why it's labeled a OCD is that if you do it 2 times, it's just not right according to the tradition of Mohammedanism. As we go, so one of the other leaders that most people, I'm not going to say the black community, but I'm going to put the whole religious community in the same boat here, as most of these religious leaders, like Martin Luther, for example, have had OCD, and they did real important works in the religious communities. So basically, what I was saying earlier is that these people, like right here, that have OCD problems, pass on that trace to normal people like you and me, if we believe into their stories and follow their traditions and ways of religion. As I keep going, even the people in the Bible, brothers and sisters, like Abraham, have a form of mental illness. Abraham is being seen here, being inspired. Let me read. My apologies. This is Abraham being stopped from sacrificing his son Isaac by a vision of an angel. It is said that Abraham have authority hallucinations, etc. That is a mental illness. All right. They tell you that God told you want to kill your son. What type of crap is this? All right. Promoting this type of practices and reading about it, over and over and over again with all these different characters will put our people in somewhat form of slavery.
2 minutes remaining.
3 minutes. Oh my goodness. So let me skip forward. I got some
Okay, so where does this fit in? Again, our modern version of religion, our modern, very secularly influenced version of religion, so often involves an emphasis on what religion is about is counseling the troubled. What religion is about is holding the hands of the newlyweds and making sure they understand what they're getting into. What religion is about is comforting the bereaved. What religion is about is the good works. But this is not what religion has often been about throughout history. Often, the religious leaders are not necessarily the ones who are most psychotherapeutically minded or the most galvanizing of people into the good works. Often, religious leaders have been the ones at the head of a crusade. Often, religious leaders have been the ones with the most.
So basically, he's getting to everything that I just said. His name is Robert Pulaski. I wish I had more time, but my main one that I would like to get to you is from Walter Williams, also that I cherish with my heart. It's called Jerusalem Syndrome, and I use this because most of my people that I deal with in here is from like Israel so much. So just listen to this right here. Hopefully, I got enough time.
It's called Jerusalem Syndrome. This one is great. This is such a bizarre disease. Jerusalem Syndrome. Shockingly, you can only get Jerusalem Syndrome in Jerusalem. Here's what you get. It's got to be a rule out. The person who gets it cannot have problems with depression or anxiety, or rule out all the other psychiatric disorders. It's a standalone diagnosis. Here's the sort of person who gets Jerusalem Syndrome. An American, highly religious Southern Baptist on their first trip ever to the Holy Land. 2 other requirements that virtually are in every single case. The person has to be relatively on their own. At the end of the day, they're in a room by themselves, and they have to be having huge problems with jet lag. In other words, they're up at all sorts of weird times a day and really in soggy shape because of that. the person who's been waiting their entire life.
Oh, sorry, was that a beat?
How much long is that video?
It's not that long. You got like 3 minutes.
Okay, no, that's too long. Go ahead and summarize it real quick, then we're gonna.
All right, so basically, if you can go and do the research too, I'm gonna give you the important thing is the name, so you can search the syndrome. It's called Jerusalem syndrome. So Jerusalem syndrome is highly is more in Jerusalem. So people who from the United States mostly go to Jerusalem have this experience and say that they go over there and had this whiplash saying that they the Messiah, they are God, and God is coming back going to punish all the ones that forsaken him and all that religious stuff. So basically, the only people that can get it is people that's never had OCD problems, schizophrenia problems, anything like that, completely normal. So they the people that can only get Jerusalem syndrome. And it's a documentary.
Right.
Yes.
Time. I gave 1 extra minute, probably about 1 extra minute. All right. Go ahead, brother. The Intercontinental Champion is in the building right now, and he is on the defense. As soon as the time starts, brother, you can get it in.
All right, y'all hear me good? Hello?
Yeah.
You hear me? Okay.
Let's start.
My mic was
All right,
muted.
cool. All right, calm. So what the brother Cephus Black just did was specifically skip over very important words that give context. Okay, in the Robert Sapolsky, who I'm very I know his work very well. He just said somebody who is highly religious. Okay, and it said it can cause OCD. So be very clear about these things here, because what he's suggesting is that religion does cause, religion alone and belief in a higher power causes mental health disorders. In that Robert Sapolsky, he literally said at the end, toward the end, that where he ended off, that the guy or somebody who was jet lagged. So there are other things that you have to put together for somebody to have a mental health disorder because of religion. Okay, so this is what I'm going to show you, right? So first, I'm going to start off with a scripture. This is James, right? Because this is very powerful. If any man among you seem to be religious and bridle not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain. So right here in James, you see that there is a religion that is vain, that can cause one to be deceived in their own heart, which we know is technically like the mind, right? But here he's distinguishing someone who has the ability to bridle their tongue. Bridling your tongue is basically self-control, the ability to control what comes out of your mouth and how you say something is cognitive. That's a positive cognitive thing. Okay, so religion gives people something to believe in, provides a sense of structure, and typically offers a group of people to connect with over similar beliefs. These facets can have a large positive impact on mental health. Research suggests that religiosity reduces suicide rates, alcoholism, and drug use. Here are some of the religion's main mental health benefits, right? So this is one. Let's go to the next slide. The role of religion and spirituality in mental health, right? So this is by Samuel R. Weber. This is coming from the Opinion of Psychiatry page, and it says this, okay, in the abstract, right? The purpose of review. there has been increased interest in the relationship between religion and spirituality and mental health in recent years. The article reviews recent research into the capacity of religion and spirituality to benefit or harm the mental health of believers. We also examine the implications this may have for assessment and treatment in psychiatric settings. Recent findings, studies indicate that religion and spirituality can promote mental health through positive religious coping, community, and support and positive beliefs. Religion is also shows that religion and spirituality can be damaging to mental health by means of negative religious coping misunderstandings. Okay? So, hold on, let me turn that on. Hold on for a second. All right, so right here, so this is distinguishing.
You got echo. Go ahead.
Right here, this is distinguishing that negative religious coping. Okay, this is distinguishing what causes mental health disorders. But let's finish what it says. Okay, negative tools and negative beliefs, right? Tools for the assessment of patients' spiritual needs have been studied, and incorporation of spiritual themes into treatment has shown some promise. Like, for instance, AA, which does a religious form of practice every time you go to people go to AA meetings, right? Summary: religion and spirituality have the ability to promote or damage mental health. This potential demands an increased awareness of religious matters by practitioners in mental health fields, as well as ongoing attention in psychiatric research. Okay, so here's the other article here. Not all religions share the same set of beliefs. Oh, there's different religions. Okay. But in one form or another, religion is found in all known human societies. Even in the earliest societies of record show clear traces of religious symbols and ceremonies. Throughout history, religion has continued to be a central part of societies and human experience, shaping how individuals react to environments in which they live. Since religion is such an important part of society around the world, sociologists are very interested in studying it. Sociologists study religion as both a belief system and a social institution. As a social context, right? As a belief system, religion shapes what people think, how they see the world. As a social institution, religion is a pattern of social actions organized around the beliefs and practices of that people to develop, answer questions about the meaning of existence. As an institution, religion persists over time and has an organizational structure, organization into which members are socialized. Socialization is very important, right? To understanding how people deal with in social groups and social contexts. But here's the base here, right? So faith, because the brother brought up having faith. Faith is scientifically proven positive effect on mental health, WND. Here we go with this article. Also from another psychiatric page. Faith is scientifically proven positive effect on mental health. We live in a mainstream culture that almost completely denies the spiritual realm and its influence on human beings. You hardly hear anything positive about religious beliefs or traditional values. For that matter, CNN and mainstream outlets chronically only address issues that fit the atheist narrative. Yet science proves that faith has a strong positive impact. For example, mental health. Time magazine has referred to the broad international studies that confirm that spirituality can be surprisingly beneficial to your health, right? Historian Hannah Nabitu and the regular column WND, which is this right here, one of the leading conservative U.S. Media outlets. Since year 2000, over 6,000 studies have been published that concern the constructive influence of religion on mental illness. The studies on the influence of prayer on the psyche is especially persuasive. But here, this is also a part. It says faith is scientifically proven positive effect on mental health. In how God changes your brain, psychiatrist Andrew Newberg explains how the parental lobe a structural area of the brain is highly activated during prayer and meditation. Activity in this part of the brain has several positive effects on people, among other things, increased memory. Fasting is practiced by Muslims during
2 minutes remaining.
Okay, and also by Jews and Christians before Christmas, and Easter has specific health benefits that can cause and strengthen the brain's ability to think clearly, right? So here we go. So one of the things I wanted to bring up too before this is over, I wanted to bring up what disillusionment is. Disillusionment is actually a form of mental health. This is where people become depressed and lose faith, and this is not good, right? So publicmed.gov says disillusionment, the prototype analysis abstract. Disillusionment is acknowledged to be the painful process with important personal and social consequences. However, scientific conceptualizations of the experiment or experience are inconsistent. Across 4 studies, we examine what lay conceptions of disillusionment produce a consistent pattern of features. So this disillusionment is the losing of faith and hope. Let's see that in that definition, right? Feeling of disappointment resulting from the discovery of something that is not good or once believed it to be. Disillusionment is a negative effect. But here, with this objective, the relationship between religiosity and mental health has been a perennial, here we go, a perennial source of controversy. The paper reviews the scientific evidence available. You move here. Here's the conclusion right here. Conclusion. There is evidence that religious involvement is usually associated with better mental health. We need to improve our understanding of the mediating factors of this association and its use in clinical practice, to use religious belief in clinical practice, right? So I have a lot more stuff right here. Probably not going to be able to get to it, but I'm going to smush you, bro. Mythos, lore, nationalism, comparative study.
Time. All right. Them brothers laid it out on the line for everybody out there in the viewing audience. Now what we're going to do a part of this, like I told you, I got 3 different topics. So we got the people on the panel. I invited more than, I invited a bunch of guys. Only a couple showed up. Who we got on here? All right. So we're going to start off with the Quan. Do you have a question for both of the panelists on this topic? And they got 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer the question.
I was actually looking forward to seeing if Cephus Black was going to show like how Xion did. I was looking forward to see if he can actually show examples of big name people that pretty much suffer from mental illness due to religious practices. I mean, based on the topic, you will have to, I want to see outside of a Einstein, YouTube, PhD, whatever the guy that he was. I'm actually looking to see if he can actually show anybody that's actually written, on paper that has mental illnesses due to religious, beliefs, not just, what they say or, what a scientist may think. So if the brother has proof of that, I would definitely want to know if he could bring that out.
Well, based on the professionals, they had these studies. You got a couple of psychologists that it got studies. The guy Robert Stolowski, on some of his interviews and stuff, he got scientists. He named scientists that you can go and research that went around the world that tested schizophrenia patients, and they got in more debt than what I can do, and more time and stuff like that. To actually have the paper trail, other than what the scientists, like you saying, was just saying, but it's actually paper trail of these people going around and documenting the reaction of the believers, basically, because this is a neuroscience too, and psychologists, they all work together to come up with these discussions and talks.
Right. I get that, but I'm saying, JJ, I can ask him a question again in a minute, or he just responds.
No, it's just one question apiece. Go ahead and ask Xion a question, please.
I don't have so okay. So I see his defense. So Xion, do you have anybody you can actually show, right? That kind of same question I asked him, but showing how religious actually benefits their mental health. Like example, like we know for us, going into the Bible, it changed our lifestyle as far as, eating right, dietary law, things like that. Can you show any proof of anybody that got out of mental illness due to religion?
Specifically, I can say that not necessarily from that somebody was benefited, like as far as like their mental health was, but we see that people who, like for instance, say take Xion for a minute. Brother Xion, was a thug, drug dealer, this, that, and the other. Then when he went to God, he changed his life around. He had a better, lifestyle. Even not so much into the music as much as he is into the faith. I believe he's an Israelite now, but at one point I think he was a Muslim for a while. And the brother's life is greatly benefited by his transition from a negative mind state of thinking, a negative culture, gangland culture, into faith that's changed his life. So I mean, there's a few people we could go through, but essentially my whole purpose was to show the brother, that you can say religion, you cannot say religion meaning all religions. However, you can say that for a fact that most scientists have proven that there is positive health, mental health benefits to religion, not just socially, not just personally, but socially, and or with families, marriages, for instance. Marriages last longer with people who are religious. People who are not religious, have a greater propensity for divorce. That is a scientific study that is proven. Okay, so that's what it is.
JJ, you go to the next one. I'm good on that.
All right, we ready to move on?
Can't hear you, JJ.
He must be having some technical difficulties.
Let's move on.
Let's get it. So what's the topic next? We want to do His Imperial Majesty, or you want to do Egypt?
Wait, Eric, want to ask a question now?
Okay.
Eric, math scientist. Unmute your mic.
Maybe to Corey.
Yeah, I got a question. For Cephus Black. So Cephus Black, this is a two-part question, just to get an understanding. Are you saying that, just to make sure, are you saying that religion causes mental health?
But do religion causes mental health? Yes.
Okay, so this is my last question. So are you telling me that Nat Turner, who else? Are you telling me Harriet Tubman, all of those black heroes was mentally challenged or had mental health issues? And is there any scientific diagnostics that showed they had any type of mental health issues?
Well, that come with different circumstances too, because like Nat Turner, he was forced to read the Bible. The only book that the slaves was able to read was the Bible. So it comes down to circumstances. So we can't really judge our ancestors on just a small what's the word I'm looking for? The small information that they had. So I can't really judge them on that without them having a better free world of knowledge, so I'm not going to say that they had mental illness, because that's the only books that we read. So I can say that he broke out of the confusion that they try to put him in, to turn the other cheek, to just let his slave masters beat him. You know what I'm saying? That's a mental illness, to just to allow all these crazy things to happen to you and believe that one day that something going to break down the sky and stop all this madness. So he realized that that's not the reality. This is mythology. The reality is to fight back. And if you don't fight back, then you're always going to be enslaved. You're always going to be enslaved. I rest my case.
Okay, I got a question for Zion. Hey, Zion, is there any verses in the Bible that shows that? Yeah, is there any verses in the Bible that proves that that an average person can get out of mental illness?
Let me think. That's a good question. I know that there's a plethora of scriptures that talk about, like for instance, in Psalm, when it talks about the law, that the law is eternal. It says, or practicing the law is. Let me look that up. Hold on. All right. One second. Right. So Psalms 19, verse 7 and 9, right? It says, the law of the Lord is perfect, refreshing the soul. The statutes of the law are trustworthy, right? So let me read that whole jump off, right? Refreshing the soul, right? The statutes of the law are trustworthy, making wise the simple, right? The precepts of the Lord are right, giving joy to the heart. Commands of the Lord are radiant, giving light to the eyes. The fear of the Lord is pure, enduring forever. The decrees of the Lord are firm, and all of them are righteous. So when you talk about practicing the law, and you talk about the benefits of the Most High, being under the Most High's care, you feel joy. Your eyes can see clearly, right? You're radiant light from the eyes, giving joy to the heart. You know what I'm saying? Refreshing the soul. All of those are positive qualities that are internal. These are dealing with the heart, dealing with the matters of the mind, dealing with the matters of how you feel about life. You got joy in your heart, you have faith, you have hope, and the Lord is trustworthy. And I land.
That's it for me.
All right, Eric.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yo, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we hear you, brother.
I got two questions. One for Cephus and one for Zion. Cephus, let's just say like we know somebody that like was in the streets on drugs, doing stuff wrong, and they became a religious person, right? And that religion, you can say, helped them get off it by the means of them fearing punishment, a spiritual punishment or something from doing what they was doing in the past, and this is keep them on the straight path. Now, if you was to tell them that the religion that they doing is not right, as a comedic, what would you replace it with to keep them off of the drugs and keep them in the path that they was in?
I replaced that with accountability. Yes, so if they already have dealing with a drug addiction, they already have a mental disability. So anything that's smooth in the mind that make them feel better, like religion does, they're gonna gravitate toward even more better than a person that's strong-minded like myself. So accountability is be an excellent replacement of that, because what is better than accountability? Being a man is being accountable for everything that you done. And one of the religions, I believe, says that I think Islam holds you more accountable than Christianity. So that makes that makes a person feel better, because they know throughout the day. For example, if I know I got to stop smoking cigarettes, it's only up to me to hold myself accountable to stop smoking cigarettes. So once I do stop smoking cigarettes, I have me to thank myself for, because it was the strength in me to put that addiction down. It was my mind. You know what I'm saying? Your mind is your most powerful thing. And once that get sabotaged, then you have mental disabilities. I rest my case right there.
Okay, hold up real quick, everybody. We got Brother Tori on the line, but before we say that, we have a brother in the audience, which I don't think he understands what's going on. I don't think he understands where he at. Somebody named LAS says, why are you going live when Sonetta go live? Brother, we don't base our timetable, our shows around Sonetta's schedule. It's just that easy to answer that. Now, I don't know why that pondered in your brain, but a lot of people who create content don't focus on who going live, when, where, and how. You know? So no, Sonetta's schedule do not dictate the lines then. I hope that answers your question. All right, everybody. Now we got Brother Tori in the building. Brother Tori, I want to say this to you, brother. You know, I don't really like how Chris Harris, Sonetta, Garfield, and all these guys is coming at you as a 20-year-old young man when you just now reaching for truth and striving for it, because none of them, when they were 20 years old, they didn't get on a platform where the potential of 20, 30,000 people could see it to talk about anything that they believe in. Trust and believe that. So I commend you for that. Also, do not let them discourage you. And also, one more thing, we're going to do a show tomorrow to call out these guys that were trying to attack a young man, but they run from the likes of JJ 7000. This Sonetta has ran from JJ. Chris Harris has ran from JJ on several occasions. And of course, Dumfriel Reed. So the audacity for you three to come at this young man because he don't want to be a goddamn atheist is appalling. And it shows your cowardness because you guys will not get in somebody with around your same age or have more experience in this. You'd rather go attack a young lion. That's embarrassing. All right, everybody. So y'all have heard the first round.
Hold on.
Tori,
I
do
ain't
you
finished.
have a
I ain't finished my
question?
second. I ain't finished my second question. Was Zion?
Oh, I'm sorry. And then Tori, if you can ask a question too. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Tori, respect to you, man. Because you know, people your age, man, ain't doing what you're doing, brother. Just keep up what you're doing, man, and keep learning. But for Zion, I just heard on the Godfather show one time. I heard him say this, so I'm gonna ask this question and see if you can answer it. They said, "What is the difference believing?" I guess what they were saying, a mermaid, and believing in God when they claim that you can't prove either one. What is the difference? Or say like a schizophrenia that says he's talking to a voice that tells him to do thing and he acts off it. What is the difference when somebody say they might hear God speak to him? Is that a difference? And can you explain to the people?
I would say there is a difference. Okay. One, when somebody is believing in overly fantastic things, right, doesn't necessarily mean that that those things are real. We can establish that. However, when someone believes that there is a higher power, we see throughout history, throughout civilization, you know what I'm saying, that the belief in the higher power, you know what I'm saying, is a positive, pro-adaptive idea, regardless of whether somebody decides, you know, which religion they or what deity they ascribe to. More or less, you know what I'm saying, this thing kind of causes one to behave, you know what I'm saying, and interact with others. So I would say that if God is speaking to someone, you know what I'm saying, in they could, you know, basically be through scripture. Like for us, when we do stuff, you know what I'm saying, or something happens in life that's a little tiresome, or a scripture that might pop up in my head, you know what I'm saying, that gives me a positive outlook on the situation, or gives me a clarity of what I should do to either fix the situation, have a solution, or, you know what I'm saying, or just, you know, continue to have faith in the Most High, so that this thing does not cause disillusionment, disappointment, depression, however, what et cetera, et cetera. So there is a difference, you know what I'm saying, with somebody who, you know, has a fantastic, what we call fanatic belief system.
Okay, I didn't know if y'all ended, but on your second round, can each debater show their face? People like to see. I mean, you know,
able to control his thoughts. That
you broke up. You broke up. I thought you was done. My fault. But in second round, I need you debaters turn on your camera, man.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yep. So.
All right.
Yes, I. So these things have positive aspects. You know what I mean? Somebody who's having a vain religion, it even says it right there in that scripture that they lack what is it? Discernment, right? Hold on. Going back to that somebody with is a scripture. If a man but deceiveth his own heart, right? So you can have an ideology that could be deceptive or deceiving to you and have a mental, you know what I'm saying, issue. However, you know, when you are practicing in righteousness and in truth, it should be beneficial. And this is how you know whether your belief system is correct. Did it change your life for the better, or did you, you know, fall by the wayside and become, you know what I'm saying, Christ Michael?
Yeah, I respect both of y'all for your answers. Thank you.
Be careful what you say. Be careful what you say. Christ Michael is always around, looking and watching and waiting for folks to call his name. He don't have to say his name 5 times, like Candyman. All he has to do is say Christ. Don't even say Michael. And he popping up on you. So I'm just warning you. All right, them were some pretty good questions. Brother Tori's in the building. If you've been watching or kind of going, excuse me, know what's going on, go ahead and ask both of the competitors a question.
Man, I just got in here. I just saw you live, and I just hopped on and jumped in the stream, y'all. And
right, and I love that support, young Lauren. Like I said, we're gonna do a show for you tomorrow. No, we ain't going for that. But all right, now everybody out there in viewing audience, I hope y'all been taking notes. Don't forget what you heard. We get ready to get into the second round, and I think we're gonna have Xion go first on this one.
I think Tori got his hand up.
Oh, yeah. Okay, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, JJ, you was right. I did get my wrench taken over there, like you said.
Wait a minute, hold up. Hey, Kareem, put the camera on Tori, please. He got to tell the world something. Kareem, can you put the camera on him, please? Go ahead, Tori. The brother only 20 years old, and he went over to sign of the TV. Him and his friend, the other young brother, they did a presentation on why they love God, and they got mad. I told you, didn't I? I said when you roll with God, they're gonna take your wrench. Go ahead, speak on it.
See,
they prophesied.
I was over there, and somebody, they got upset with me, and they decided to take both of my wrenches on both their channels.
That's what we're gonna do for you, Tori. I'm gonna help you start your own channel. Tori's Revenge.
JJ.
Hey, I like that. It got a good ring to it. Because you got us backing you. And I want you to bring a whole, but we ain't gonna call it Tori's Revenge. We're gonna call it let the dust roll off your back. No sweat.
Should JJ just create a show for him on the lands then?
For sure.
He can come like once a week and do something.
I want to have his own YouTube channel. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really know about that. I don't really think I want to start a YouTube channel.
We'll talk about it behind the scenes, brother. You ready? All right. Now this is the second round.
I got one more question. So
okay.
Wait, do you? I think I heard you say before. Do you consider yourself a Christian Israelite?
Well, like I say, brother, the first brothers they followed Christ was Christ-like, and these people who couldn't understand what was going on, they said these people who follow this Christ-like guy, these Christians, are causing trouble, and they were Jews. Excuse me, Israelites. So there's nothing wrong when you tell the world that the first Christians.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah, but I actually agree with you because from my research, I showed that.
Zion, let's get on with the debate. Let's get it.
All right, all right,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. Ain't Christian was called Nazareth at first, and then they changed it to Christian. Nazareth into a Romanized into a
So we could get to round two. What is the title for round two?
We're gonna dig into His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie. So, my brother,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay, so is Sir Haile Selassie be accepted by the Negro of America, right?
Khan.
Okay. The round two, you got Zion and Cephus. Is Haile Selassie should be respected by the Negro of America today, and who is going first?
I think Zion have to go first because Cephas went first the first time. I mean, it's
Yeah, Zion going.
Yep.
Okay. Well, it's Zion. Show your presentation. Let's get started.
All right. Y'all got the clock?
Yep, your time starts now.
Okay, so one of the things, that there was a lot of negative propaganda against His Imperial Majesty, like so many other African leaders. There was a lot of negative propaganda. So one of the things I want to first state, because in our preliminary, the brother brought up slavery, et cetera, and some things that he claimed were negative aspects of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie, which I am here to show you the good work. So, okay, so one of his speeches, one of his most important speeches, will let you know what I'm saying, the principles in the mind of the man and how he thought, right? So this is his words, his own testimony right here, submitted to the courts. Until the philosophy which holds one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned, everywhere is war, and until there is no longer first class and second class citizens of any nation, until the color of a man's skull is of no more significance than the color of his eyes, and until the basic human rights, which are equally guaranteed to all without regard to race, there is war. And until that day, the dream of lasting peace, world citizenship, rule of international morality will remain but a fleeting illusion to be pursued but never attained. We Africans will fight. He called himself an African. Let's get that together. We'll fight if necessary, and we know we shall win, as we are confident in the victory of good over evil. So let's dig into some of the things that he's done here, okay? Let's dig into who this man was and what he did. So first and foremost, for African Americans, this is very important, is, okay, he came here, visited African Americans, the descendants of slaves, and spent a lot of time sending emissaries. One, his name is Malaku. There's another one, Malaku Bayan, who came and started the Ethiopian World Federation in order to begin what it was called Ethiopianism in the Americas. This was one of the early Pan-African forces in African American culture. Most people don't realize the influence that it had on the present day conscious community. Okay, so we're going back to like 1923, between 1923, 26. Later on, Haile Selassie actually establishes the Sheshamani, right? So he actually put land, the only African king of his time, the first and only African king of his time, to actually set aside land for African Americans who wanted to return home and repatriate back to Africa. He went back and forth to the Americas to discuss some of the matters that were going on with African Americans in his country, even going so far as to speak to the president, Kennedy. And there was a lot of other things that he did. But the other thing is he abolished slavery in Ethiopia. But there's a really important thing, because most people say that he had slaves and such in his earlier years. Okay, but Emperor Haile Selassie had made a twofold diagnosis as to why his predecessors' efforts to curb or end slavery had failed. There were those who had tried before and it did not work. A combination of failure to put in place enforcement mechanisms to accompany numerous laws issued over the years, and the uniformity of the problem due to the fact that slavery was deeply rooted in the tradition. Haile Selassie, Volume 1, right? So that's in his book, right? He was convinced that, this is in the book about him, convinced that it was impossible to uproot such an ancient institution simply by writing laws. He also feared that the sudden end of slavery would create an influx of a large underclass with no means to support itself that would have created 2 million destitute people overnight, right? Like what happened in America. Thus, his was going to be a deliberate process, including substantive laws and tougher enforcement mechanisms that would gradually put the institution of slavery out of commission. Why? Because he didn't want 2 million destitute people who were, all of a sudden just, yeah, you're free, no money, no nothing, no support systems, just, out there. That's what happened in the Americas prior to Jim Crow and the black, So the most serious laws marking the beginning of the end of the institution of slavery in Ethiopia came in 1920s. Okay, so even before he was crowned the King of Kings, Emperor of the country, he was still actively fighting against this social context, right? It is true that by the time Ethiopia had little choice but to effectively tackle the slavery problem, which had remained an endemic. By 1922, Ethiopia had come under the unrelentless pressure to end slavery from the Western news and media, particularly the British press, as well as anti-slavery groups such as the Anti-Slavery and Aborigines Project and Projection of Society. So we see that he went up from 1922, began establishing laws, and then by 1922, that's when the Western world wanted to stick their nose in it. You know what I'm saying? But he was already on top of it. Okay. So, Haile Selassie biography, Family Tree Achievements, Rastafari, World History EDU, published in October 27, 2020. Right, a staunch Pan-African, Haile Selassie was involved in the founding of the Organization of African Unity. Currently African Union, an organization that he would later serve as the fifth chairman, May 25th, 1963, November 5th, 1966. Emperor Haile Selassie shared similar Pan-African ideas of Ghana, as that of Ghana's president Kwame Nkrumah and Nigeria's Nnamdi Azikiwe. Selassie was a big advocate for the forming of the United Nations of Africa to speak, encouraging the formation of the Organization of African Unity, presently known as the African Union, in the early 1960s. Another very laudable feature came in August 1942, when he officially abolished slavery in the country. We never saw that. And the emperor also relied on some foreign advisors in order to attract the needed foreign direction or direct investments into the country. right? So we got this. During his reign, Ethiopia went from a really backward country to one that was exporting close to 30,000 tons of coffee. Haile Selassie instituted many reforms that was a model on Western systems. He invested heavily in social and economic infrastructure, which spurred further growth in the country. He was credited with modernizing the big cities in Ethiopia's modernization. The complement of those efforts, he invested a lot of the country's police and military forces. In the bid to diminish the feudal power of other dynastic princes.
2 minutes remaining.
Right. So we see that we have a long list of things that he did that were positive for the country and the nation and his people, as well the entire African continent. And not only that, with the OAU, that was for the unity of all African nations. And then the EWF was for the unification of Africans here in the diaspora, the descendants of slaves, right? So here we go. Okay, on May 1963, the Organization of the African Union was established with the permanent headquarters in Addis Ababa. Haile Selassie, Emperor of Ethiopia, was selected as the first president, right? So if you go through the city, you see the interactions could have acted in indifference to those who should have known better. The silence of the voice is justice when the matter it mattered most. That has made it impossible or possible for evil to triumph. This man has been doing the works, you know what I'm saying, in Africa and in the diaspora, even coming so far here to bless the grave of some of our civil rights leaders, right? So we must become bigger than we have been, more courageous, greater in spirit. Those are great words, you know what I'm saying? But here's a really interesting thing that's going to go into my next part, right? He says, I am from the line of Ori, which is stated to be actually Asar, right? From the line of Ori, he is the first king of Ethiopia. In one of the decorations, Haile Selassie announces that he is the head not only of Ethiopia, but all people of African descent everywhere. Very interesting. Why? Because of the bloodline, right? The key to who Ori is in the Ark story. One of the names of Haile Selassie called Ethiopia is Arko the Wise, and he knows he is the right. He will not change his mind, right? So Ori is going back to even Kush, ancient Kush, and Egyptian royal bloodlines. You know, one of the first kings on the earth said to be Ori. God.
Time. All right. Now, before Brother Cephus get in here, if there's anybody, 2 other or 3 other people that want to join the panel to ask questions in this round, it's okay. Actually, we got room for 2 more people. 6, 8, yeah, 2 more people. Anybody? The link is in the chat. We want to make this debate interactive for everybody. Everybody's participation. It's not a what they call it, monarchy, dictatorship. We don't do that over at the den. We making it interactive and for everybody, man. Your voice counts. And this episode of Lions In is brought to you by common sense. I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. That's been my #1 sponsor since I got off the ground with this. You understand me? Hey, when I got in front of the TV with my stick, you know, hey, my stick is around here over here, and the next round I might bring her to the table. That's Betsy. That's right. She's a head buster. But anyway, man, I'm enjoying how this is going, man. Cephus Black, man. On this one, you might got a tough mountain to climb. Like on the first one, he had a tough mountain to climb. So let's get it in. The gangster difference from BMO, Uncle West stopping grounds, Connaught stopping ground. Make them proud, family. Let's get it.
Woo, I ain't gonna lie, that was a tough one. That was a tough one right there from my brother Xion. I'm gonna get it in with you though. Let me share this screen. Get it going. All right. So, all right. Even though it is said that Haile Selassie and Menelik, I'm gonna add his predecessor with in this too, because it all comes together lovely. Say they did not approve of slavery. It is said they owned slaves by the thousands. All right. Many kings was a part of slave raids also. All right. They all want to preach that they down for the black people. They do this, they do that, and they still turn around and do some racist stuff. Your own people. Punitive enslavement was practiced in Ethiopia, which allowed slavery to people who do certain crimes. Even the predecessor of Haile Selassie, Menelik, ordered a decree to enslave thieves in 1899. Oh, snap, I'm sorry. Oh, damn. Okay. So the Kibra Nagas, sorry for my pronunciation, Haile Selassie followed the same system as his predecessors, which is the Kibra Nagas, and quotes the biblical book of Leviticus. Some say this is the main reason why Ethiopian slavery was different from the white man, because it was intentionally I got a tongue twist. That's the slavery. Shit, stop. What is dang? Why I can't pronounce this word now? That's the demonic. That's the mixed slavery. You know what I mean? Is a involuntary slavery. It is a form of human trafficking found in distant circumstances. Work in a private residence that create unique vulnerabilities for victims. The Kibra Nagas go way back to the first Council of Nicaea. Now, I bring that up because we also got to remember our boy Walter Williams told us that we had Boule Africans in our community that sold us out, that lived in Memphis, Egypt. All right, who created in this law, who created this created creature named Serapis in this law, the Kibra Nagas. You know, go way back then. So the Fita Nagas also provide the enslavement of non-believers and the children of slaves. The Fita Nagas also made sure that any woman that had sexual relationships with or married a slave could be enslaved. All right, and I'm gonna keep going. Is Haile Selassie for his people. The emperor was also faced with many rebellions. All right, everyone know what a rebellion is. One of the rebellions was in Eritrea, but also among ethnic or Romas, Somalis, and the Ogaden region, who believed they were discriminated against under this Orthodox Christian rule. September 1st, 1961 to May 24th, 1991. A French author named Gerard Perner even admitted that foreign powers was well aware of the reactionary and unbearable and oppressive and of the Ethiopian Somalic dynasty, but they all had favorite dictators, and the emperor was a magnificent one, making him the greatest sellout of all of them. You have another rebellion called the Wonyang Rebellion, for example. Excuse my pronunciation, I'm trying to rush through this. Exposing Haile Selassie, Marcus Garvey called Selassie a great coward and the leader of a country where black men are chained and flogged.
Both of y'all.
On March 8, 1964, the New York Times wrote an article about Haile Selassie tricking the people, making them believe that a despotic slave owner can be the best thing that ever happened to Africa. The article admit that Selassie was not the father of African unity because Conway Nkrumah was the one who led Ghana into independence. He played a key role in creating the organization of African unity, which became the African Union. He is the father of Pan-African, not Haile Selassie. Emperor Menelik quotes, he is not a Negro but a Caucasian, and the same was said by Haile Selassie. Haile Selassie said that Ethiopians do not classify themselves as black, but a mixture of Hamito-Semitic people, aka what I call them, Hamites, according to John A. Spencer. Let's remember that in the 19th century, scholars classified the Hamite race as a subgroup of the Caucasian race. The Hamites come from Ethiopia. And I want to remind you that our sellouts, our ancient sellouts, lived in Memphis, Egypt, according to Walter Williams, the same sellouts that gave the white man everything they wanted. All right. So, yes, he is a part of that bloodline. Exposing Haile Selassie, it is said that one of the excuses used for the Italians to invade Ethiopia is because of the long way to stop slavery. going against the United Nations. Marcus Garvey accused Haile Selassie of being a slave master. Marcus Garvey even said, after all, Haile Selassie is just an ordinary man, like any other human being. What right has he to hold men as slaves? All right. Haile Selassie never wanted to free the slaves. It took the Italians to make Ethiopia in slavery. Italy invaded Ethiopia in October 1935 and issued 2 laws in October 1935 and in April in 1936 and emancipating slaves in that country. According to Italy accounts, when they was there in that small time they was there, they freed 420,000 slaves. So if they freed 420,000 slaves, I ask again to the panel, how come Haile Selassie, they say he never had slaves? That don't make sense. If it was slaves in that country and he ran that country, why he was one of the last countries to end slavery, my brothers and sisters. All right. If he was so, I don't want to hear that, oh, it took a long time because of the judges. You run this, all right? It don't have to take foreign powers to come over here and bully you to free 420,000 slaves, brother. He had restrictions on certain people that was in religion to have slaves or not. If you was a Christian, you couldn't even sell a slave. If you was a Muslim, the Muslim can get all the slaves they want. They can get all the money they want from trading slaves and things like that. And then just to justify slavery that is in the Bible is a slave master tool book. All right. Now these are the same people, the same bloodline that manipulated their own people back in the day in Memphis, Egypt, and gave Constantine and who's before Constantine, Alexander the Great, everything they wanted. All right. It took them a while to find a certain group, a bloodline like Haile Selassie people, to trade on their own people. Most of Haile Selassie bloodline say they don't even mess with us. They would enslave us. Do the history, brothers and sisters. All right. It hurts my heart to sit here and not be told the whole history on how our own people had us enslaved. People want to skip that part. Bring that to life. All right. I'll rest my keys.
Hey, I told y'all, man. Both of these guys, man, bringing out some powerful information, man. Both of them bringing some good points. Hey, now we're gonna bring it up to the panel. To anybody else? Okay, ain't no new panelists. Okay, so we're gonna stick to the ones that's part of the show. But remember, the Lions Den let the crowd interact in these debates. That's what we're doing from now on, man. You know, we stepping it up to the next level of debates. You see what I'm saying? Because this episode of Lions Den is brought to you by Common Sense. You know, that's the sponsor. So, all right, man. Hey, I love both of y'all points on that second round. First round, too. So go ahead, Brother Tory. Now that you have heard both sides, you can ask both of these brothers a question.
Hey, JJ, I just got back in my computer. I was gone for a while.
Okay. All right, to Corey, TKO Dawson. Hey, this brother TKO Dawson is going to be fighting for the Lions Den Championship against Reuben King Naga, a Naga World Order. Both of these brothers have excellent records in the Lions Den. Now check this out. Corey TKO Dawson is 8-1 over the years. Reuben King Naga is 7-0. And this time, both of these brothers are crossing paths. That's how it go. You cross paths. And I feel like the commission retired as a legendary Lions Den champion, you know, like Tahuti, like Jeremiah, Priest of the Yah, like Yasha Ben Israel, like Judah Nazareth, and like the brother Music. And I hope I ain't forgetting nobody. These brothers are always remembered as carrying the crown of the Lions Den heavyweight champion. Then we got, one more time, we got middleweight champions. Excuse me, intercontinental middleweight, same thing. The first one intercontinental champion was Prince Kobe from England. And then we had the brother
Oh man, what's his name? I forget his name. But anyway, it's a history of brothers that
Jihad.
Yeah, Jihad. I'm sorry. And then Jihad got into the tournament, was cocky with his belt, and put it up against King Ceph in a tournament. And King Ceph won that belt. And then we split with the Source Debate League. They sworn their own thing. And then we had other middleweight champions like New Kakarot. And then we have the one that we have now, which is the brothers debating here. The Smushinator. So everybody got a chance over it. It's not just no Israelite platform, because those champions that are named, a lot of them wasn't Israelites. A lot of them wasn't full Bible. You understand me? So let's get it in. Takori, what's your question? And Takori, hold up. Takori has been a number one contender for a long time, but he took a break. So Hootie actually kind of ran from Takori because Takori was up next. I'm going to keep it 7,000. Go ahead, Takori.
Oh man, I kind of honestly, I don't know too much about Haile Selassie to like question both of the brothers about him. I never studied too much about him, but I did hear a lot about him from Xion. But honestly, I ain't got no question on this one. I'm good. Y'all on y'all own with this one.
All righty. All right. Next is Eric Man Scientist. Go ahead, Aki.
Yeah, peace. I wanted to ask Zion. Okay, we have a lineage of this. That he come from the Semitic dynasty, right? And I noticed that I think he has a son. I just want you to explain what happened to the dynasty. Why isn't the generations after him talked about, and do they have any connection with the American Negro today?
Absolutely. In fact, the heir apparent, Haile Selassie's son, who would have taken the throne, is still he's in North America, and he's united with the EWF. He's united with the Rastafarian movement, and to reestablish the theocratic democracy of Ethiopia. Now, they're also hailed in the United Nations, knowing still that he is the blood descendant of His Imperial Majesty, and his family is very influential with some of the matters that have gone on as far as with the Caribbean and stuff like that. Rastafari and the EWF is still united under the son or the heir apparent, Crown Prince Asfawosen, who would have been the king. He still exists, and his family is still honored and respected. He had to leave Ethiopia, obviously, because the socialist republic that took over, called the Derge, that came from the Europeans that influenced them, those students that deposed His Imperial Majesty, they obviously would have tried or attempted to kill the bloodline, because that would be the only way the theocratic democratic government could be placed back in order. So they're here in North America. One of his sons was on TED Talks. That's Johannes Haile Selassie. He's an anthropologist. A lot of his sons and his descendants are still here and still holding up the flag with the lion on it, not the one with the star on it. So that's where I rest on that question.
Okay. For Cephus, I heard you speaking on that Haile Selassie had slaves. So I'm just coming from it. What if somebody was to ask you about Kemet and the 9 bowls and the people they invaded and made her have had bondage? Can you speak on that? Oh yeah, what would make it a difference than what Selassie did?
All right, I can't go into that because I'm not going to sit here and try to throw out lies here. I only know small information about my ancestors. From what I know, that we didn't enslave our own people. We enslaved people of war. And that's the difference from Haile Selassie. Haile Selassie enslaved his own people, like I said in Fita Nika, something like that. If a woman, if an Ethiopian woman mingled with Ethiopian slave man, slept with him, anything like that, now the woman is considered a slave. You know what I'm saying? So that is the big difference between, from my knowledge of the prisoners of war from Egypt until slavery with Ethiopian slavery, enslaving their own people, and being one of the last ones to end slavery.
Thank y'all both for your answers.
Thank you.
Anybody else up next? Taquan or I think Choice.
Yeah, Taquan, you up?
So I just want to really quickly, you know what I'm saying, briefly inform you that that dude, Eric Mad Scientist, voted for Cephus Black. However, Cephus Black just stated that Egyptians did in fact have slaves. And he says those are his ancestors. Cephus Black ain't got no DNA from Egypt. Number one, can't even prove that the Cometics are even a part of his genealogy. Right? But however, Eric Mad Scientist voted for this douchebag, this fucking bum bump, excuse my language. And this dude never supplied proper citation. Now, what he did say is that Haile Selassie enslaved his own people. When I just literally proved that His Imperial Majesty attempted to progressively remove slavery from 1922 all the way to 1942, right? 20-year progressive campaign to abolish slavery in Ethiopia. However, here's the problem. The problem is that Ethiopia isn't just one people. Haile Selassie never had Amharic slaves. You had Oromos, you had the Tigray, you had Eritrea, you had Somali, you had all kinds of culture. You had so while at the end of the day, Haile Selassie was born and adopted into a culture that a medieval culture of Ethiopian dignity, where slavery was there, servant ship or servitude was existent in that country. What he literally sits there and tries to dissolve is all the evidence that I provided about His Imperial Majesty dissolving slavery. And yet this bum bump Eric Mad Scientist still voted for this remedial Negro. So I'm going to continue. I just wanted to point that out to anybody who's really watching this video.
I don't have no questions on this round, Hawk.
All righty.
I want to say something real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, brother Tori.
Yeah, JJ, you on Facebook, right? Or you got Messenger?
Yeah, I got Facebook and Messenger.
All right, can you like put it in the private chat or
This
something?
dude True just keep on talking about things that are not relevant to the debate. I don't even understand why JJ 7000 keeps on allowing this dude to speak.
That's it.
What's your name on Facebook?
This is retarded, man.
I'll put it in the private chat. I don't want to say it out loud.
Just shut the fuck up.
The Neteroos were just a principle of the creator, or did they believe that the Neteroos were the divine creator? Am I right? Is that where we going? Cause y'all gonna fix it for me so I don't mess it up.
Like gods, and they wish them as gods and goddesses, basically.
Zari?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we up there. And Zari, you need to turn your camera on, brother. I mean, come on, man, what you hiding for? Come on, man. People want to see interactions and faces and all that. As a matter of fact, this round right here, Creamer, get the camera on when the debater go, put it on there. Please and thank you. All right, now who's gonna start this round out?
I guess it's gonna be me.
All right, go ahead, Gangster Egyptian. It's on you. As soon as Kareem get the clock up, and then she'll put the camera on you so that way you can the audience can see what you're talking about. And but if you got your screen up, then I guess they really can't see you like that unless you just talking. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you just talking,
Their screen is up, so they sharing it immediately most of the time. So
okay. All right.
All right, are y'all ready to get down with this knowledge I'm about to break down to you? All right, I ain't gonna stunt. I'm not a professional debate. I'm trying my best, so hopefully I'm doing real good for y'all. I'm about to share this screen. Let's get it.
All right.
All right.
That's one of that Jesus minister recruits. He recruited Takori, Cephus Black, and Michael Shannon.
All right. It's one of my favorites. Well, let me start off by I'm gonna talk for myself. One of my favorites, you got Tahuchi right here. Is the Egyptians gods or principles? All right. And as you see on my crown on my head just a few seconds ago, I have Tahuchi on my hat. Now Tahuchi represent articulate talk, articulate writing, articulate thought, articulate speech, articulate anything articulate. That's what my man Tahuchi do. Now I'm gonna tell you in my words only.
Articulate. Sorry for interrupting. Can you put it on the presentation so we can read what it says on there? Because it's real small.
Hold up, Takori. I think he cream and blanket and showing the face and the presentation at the same time, so you interact. I think that's what's going on. Because you see his presentation now, right?
It's real small. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like the word.
Okay, well, I don't know. It might not get no bigger, brother. But I mean,
well, the prison you don't got ready, but I just got. I got a video to show you after this. I only say is the Egyptian gods or principles. All right, so like I was saying, Tahuchi just represent articulate thought, right, and all that good stuff. So as I look at these individuals, I put these attributes and I acquire to my life. All right. So when I want to get all intellectual, I think about
intellectual.
The ability.
He can't even articulate.
Until,
articulation.
My best speaking abilities
articulate.
And thoughts and all that good stuff. You know. And for example, I'm a welder.
I'm embarrassed.
You know, and I know I jump into different ideologies here, but it's another African ideology named Ogon. And so I like to think about Ogon a lot because I'm a welder, and Ogon is like the god of iron. But it's a principle. Don't get it confused though. It's just a principle. All right, he's just the master of iron. And as I master welding, which is a assimilation of iron and stuff like that, that's who I portray myself to be. So I'm gonna stop talking and get into the good stuff. The person that I got backing me up today to help y'all learn that it's not gods but principles is a guy named Mfadishi. He is one of the good scholars that agree that it was laws and principles and not gods. All right. So I got this wonderful yeah right here for y'all to read. I mean, not to read, to listen to.
I also noticed a lot of Hebrews would play on that a lot when they come into, you're worshiping false gods, and this is why we went to Egypt, and we worship false gods, and it came to a factor where, okay, let me learn more, figure that out, because I'm just hearing this side, because we was in Egypt, we did what Egyptians did, we ate what they, we looked just like them. So give us another story.
So I wanted to get rid of the myth of these are gods and goddesses. I tell people like gravity. Do you understand gravity? Gravity's not God. It's not a God, but gravity doesn't care whether you like it or not. Gravity don't care if you're black or white, short, fat, gay, or whatever. It affects everybody the same. That's principle. It's a principle and it's a law. These represent principles and laws. For example, this is Jehuti. He represents articulate thought, articulate speech, articulate writing, articulate action. Everybody has that in their consciousness. We're not all using it. So Jehuti's not a god. It's something that exists inside of you. So they say Jehuti is the tongue of Ptah. He is the voice of Amun. This is the creator. In the beginning was the word. Jehuti is the one that utters the word. And from the word, we bring all things into existence. So he's not a god. He's a principle, a law of higher consciousness
dealing with articulation. Like Basset. Basset is not a god or goddess in this case. She represents dance, music, you know. So in her hand is the sistrum. She's making the noise of the creator. So that's why your baby's rattle looks like that and makes the noise, and the baby's attracted to that because that's a sound of the creator. And the women were the musicians in ancient Kemet. And so Basset, now she's in a zoomorphic, sometimes she's depicted just like a cat. We are the first to domesticate cats. And they have a lot of attributes and attitudes like human beings, or human beings have a lot of attributes like cats. They're very independent. You can't put a cat on the leash and start taking him for a walk. He don't want to hear that, okay? Inpu, he's the guardian.
Now, I want y'all to pay attention because this is where this brother really shot himself in the foot. This dude is over here promoting idols and magical crystals and stones. But this brother, Cephus Black, is arguing against religion and belief. But now he's using this person who is literally defending the use of ancestral idols, statues, and magic stones. This is where Cephus Black kills himself. But even after this, he goes to Robert Sapolsky of Stanford University, not knowing that I am very well aware of Robert Sapolsky, who is a rabbinical Jew. He uses a couple of excerpts. This excerpt right here literally destroys his entire argument, all right, for Kemet and Kemet's lack of religiosity and spiritual belief and symbolism in the Neteru. However, when he goes to Robert Sapolsky, what he ends up leaving out is that Robert Sapolsky is actually a rabbinical Reformed Jew. Okay, so let's go.
Both is correct. Okay, just like some people down south say the, some people say the. Okay, both of we call it spatial dialect. So Inpu represents transformation. Right, here's the nature of transformation and Sahu, which people call mummification. But mummy, there's no mummies. Mummy is an Arabic word that has nothing to do with ancient Kemet. So he prepares the body for the next journey. But Inpu also prepares you for each stage in life when you go through rites of passage. Now, when the Greeks came in and they saw how important Inpu was, the Inpu priest, they saw that he was black and that he wore black. So they thought you're supposed to wear black to funerals. But in Kemet, we wore white to funerals. That's what happens when you get just a little bit of information and you don't have all of it. So now we running around with all black on. Okay, so that's just we call disinformation. And each one of these, Aset, the great mother, here she is with the wings.
Talk about that. What's the wings? What the wings represent?
Well, it represents the concept of an angel comes from ancient Kemet. So when you see the angel, has nothing to do with Europeans or Greece or Rome. Angels. It just represents flight, consciousness, flight, movement. Okay, and also the wings of various creatures like the falcon, the hawk, the vulture. The vulture is the great mother wings. And the hawk vulture is the largest flying bird in the world, which is the vulture. So since she represents motherhood or mothership, she has the wings like of the vulture, okay, which is nurturing. So all of these represent principles and laws that are help governing us. Like we have the principle of air, fire. So we have somebody like Set. Set is more with the principle of fire. Set is like your immune system. People say, well, no, Set's evil. No, Set likes a good rumble, right? Your immune system is fighting all the diseases that's all around us. Right now, if your immune system wasn't working, you wouldn't get back to Virginia. You would die on the way because germs is everywhere. Your immune system is constantly battling. Well, that's Set.
All right, pardon self, y'all. Sometimes my laptop cuts out of the Wi-Fi. So we're gonna continue. I'm gonna continue on recording this because I want this on the record. I want to show y'all how you smush your head and how faulty some of these people's claims. He says this is not religion. It is religion. Look at him. Look at this dude's whole entire getup and his idols, and then listen to how he discusses magic stones. He even says, "Oh, well, everyone wears black to funerals because they thought that they were supposed to wear black, but the Cometics wore white. If everybody was wearing one thing, one color, either white or black, that's a religious practice. You freaking imbecile." So let's go.
2 minutes remaining.
Okay. Well, looks like I'm having some problems on here. But anyway, so I'm gonna go on with
So
say it again.
you hear me? If you have technical difficulty, Kareem can stop your time.
I did.
Okay, yeah. So you just want to fix it, go ahead, go out.
Let me try to go back. Maybe
Okay.
Refresh it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just for educational purposes, copyright. We're not trying to monetize and make any money off this. He's using this as his information for his debate. So I don't hope nobody flag the video or do no stupid shit like that.
Like I just sold that one, but that's the lot, right? Has the lion's body with the high priest's head. So it means master your animal nature, but rise to your highest spiritual nature, like as a priest or priestess. So you see, the reason why they don't want you to know this is because this is teaching you good character. Religion does not teach you good character. It just wants you to be faithful. Stay in the box. Stay in the box and believe. See, and when you have a belief system, I don't have to prove anything.
That's right.
You just believe. And then if you question that, they say, "Oh, you're going to hell because you don't believe." No. In ancient Kemet, we show you. So now I want to make the distinction before we get into the crystals. I want to make a distinction between
and that's what I really basically wanted y'all to understand. And it's always go back to my first PowerPoint here when I talk about belief and faith. Even Infodici broke it down to you. And what
the literal title of the debate is, does belief cause mental health disorders or mental illness? And he asserts that yes, belief causes mental health disorders. Now he is trying to run around the title and juxtapose his belief system over the title. And yet Eric Mad Scientist, that remedial ass nigga, voted for this dude after this dude has not been able to maintain not one coherent point or prove his case beyond the burden of proof. He hasn't established anything, but actually shoots himself in the foot the entire debate.
what that is. And I in my powerful smashing, gangster smashing debate. You know what it is. It's Cephus Black, the gangster Egyptian.
All right, boy. I'm telling you, man. Hey, these Lions Den debaters, man, they come out and they bring a lot of information. I love it. All right, man. Now look, next is the Lions Den Intercontinental Champion. This is be his third and final round. So, Zion, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So, it's Chris, show your time. You can start.
All right. You got my hold on. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, so soon as you show your time, you can start, brother.
Okay. Yeah, because I haven't fell out before, so
I should tell you to start.
yeah. Okay. All right.
All right, your time starts now.
All right. So here's the problem. Brother Cephus Black is getting his information from an elder, you know what I'm saying, of the present day Kemetic, some present day Kemetic schools of thought. But the problem is that we're talking about the actual historical Egyptians, right? So this is going to be really cool because, you know, I got that brother covered. The funny thing is he's talking about belief. Actually, what he just showed was that there is faith, right? I dealt with faith in my first part of my PowerPoint. Dealt with faith and how that helps to give mental health, right? One of the things that he doesn't want to admit is that Mafundi would even said this in this here video. Hold on. In this video called Out of Darkness, Heavy is the Crown, where all of these Black scholars agreed that the Neteru were not just symbols, but they were divine aspects of one creator, one God that went and basically showed itself in nature, in the universe. And the symbols of the Neteru were not just symbols of the nature of, but an actual manifestation of the great creator, right? What I believe they call Heka, right? So this great creator is emanating through all of the Neteru, right? Egyptian religion was a combination of beliefs and practices, which in the modern day would include Egyptian mythology, science, medicine, psychiatry, magic, spiritualism, and herpetology, as well as the modern understanding. Wait, well, that brother just had rocks talking about how to use some stones. That requires belief in some stones, right? I'm gonna show you how to use these stones. I'm gonna show you what you need. This statue of what's called some idol for this to protect you, for idol to symbolize protection. That's getting faith. That is a religious practice, right? So he wants to, in one breath, say all religious belief and practice is it causes mental health. But when it gets down to what he don't want to make that a religion. But it is a religion, right? As the modern understanding of religion as belief in a higher power and a life after death. Oh, wait, can you go to the afterlife? Are you able to go down to and see and have your heart weighed on the feather of Ma'at, right? Religion played a part in every aspect of their lives of the ancient Egyptians because life on earth was seen as only one part of an eternal journey. And in order to continue that journey after death, one needed to live a life worthy of continuance, right? During one's life, on earth, one must be expected to uphold the principle. Didn't this brother say, if you can't see something or you can't prove that something is there, then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, that's mental health, that's a delusion, right? So I guess all of the Kemetics were delusional. But there's a real interesting thing right here. Now, just take a note, you know what I'm saying, to the fact that there is Osiris right here and somebody bowing down before him, you know what I'm saying? Osiris right here sitting on the throne, very important, because I'm going to tie all of this together. All right. So by honoring the principle of Ma'at, personified as a goddess of the same name, holding the white feather of truth, the living one's and the living one's life is in accordance with its precepts. Precepts means law. One of the design or aligned with the gods and the forces of light against the forces of darkness and chaos. Very interesting. Sounds very, very similar to a lot of everybody else's religion, right? So here we go. Boom, boom. Right. So in this right here, this video, you got to see it. Mafundi is in there along with let me see. I got the list of names. Dr. Sheikh Aqua, Koba Kamani, Tony Broder, right? Professor James Smalls, David Banner's in here, Taj Tariq Bey, okay, Sabir Bey, all of these brothers who have done the research. Mafundi right there, right? He's in this, and he does not make any objection that the Netaru are the manifestations of the Creator. In fact, he just got finished saying higher power. Can you see that higher power, my brother? No. Okay, so there's faith being displayed even through the use of these objects that are symbolic of the nature, the many different natures of the divine, that one God, right? So it says here, there are many Kemetic beliefs which do not agree upon by every practitioner. However, one of the biggest discussions is whether Kemeticism is a monotheistic, worshiping one God, or a polytheistic religion of many gods. Religion. This is due to the nature of the Neter, and it has many different manifestations. No, this is not just symbolism. These are manifestations. Many Kemetics also practice and venerate their ancestors, right? These individuals have a shrine to their ancestors known as an Aku, and in their home, they will pray to them for God. Pray to your dead ancestors, right? That's prayer. Right? That's religion. A revival of Kemeticism in the modern city. This is where we have to get a distinction of what so-called Kemetics teach now, because this is a new way of looking at it. So revival of Kemeticism in the modern day can be traced back to 1970. So it's not connected to the original practices. However, you know what I'm saying, it's still based upon the basic fundamentals of the Egyptian religion. By the late 1980s, Kemeticism had become popular enough for a large group of believers to organize, create institutions, and found new different branches. See, this right here totally destroys the first argument, and we're going to get back to how it destroys the second argument about Haile Selassie. There were two essential foci in public religion, the king and the gods. Oh, wait, so the king is important to the nationality of the national identity of the Kemetics, right? Both are among the most characteristic features of the Egyptian civilization. The king had a unique status between humanity and the gods. Partook in the world of the gods and constructed great religiously motivated funerary monuments for his afterlife. Egyptian gods were renowned for the wide variety of forms, including animal forms mixed with forms of animal heads on human bodies, as anthropomorphic images, right? The more important deities were the sun god, who had several names and aspects and was associated with many supernatural beings in the solar cycle, modeled in the alternation of night and day, and Asaru, Osiris, or Ori, the god of the dead, the ruler of the underworld, with his consort Aset, Isis. Asaru became dominant in many contexts during the first millennium BCE. So we're going back further than 1970, you know what I'm saying, with your revival. Okay, so both, you know what I'm saying, the divine, semi-divine king. I just want to read this real briefly. In some societies, especially in ancient kingdoms or empires, the king was regarded as a god or identified with some god. In early Egypt, he was identified with the sky god Heru and with the sun god Ra or Amun-Ra or Aten, right? Similarly, identifications were made with early China and Erech in Mesopotamia. So I'm gonna move over here. The functions of the sacred king. The king as a source of cosmic power. This is your religion, right? This is the real truth about Kemetic practice. and y'all ain't got no king, no niggas, no nation. The usual function of a sacred king is to bring blessings to his people. Oh, we just say that? Y'all have little statues and say, you pray and you got some crystals and stuff to bring blessings to his people in the area of control because he had supernatural power over life and the welfare of the child. Supernatural powers, okay? The chief or king is believed to be to influence the fertility and soil, cattle, humans being, but the mostly the coming of the rain. He had the power over the forces of nature, where rain is virtually necessary for the welfare and continuity of a people. The king can be described primarily in terms by this special function. Let's go down here. The function of the king is bringer of good fortune. And it's especially prevalent in Africa, just in general, but is also, that's Egypt too, also been observed in Polynesia, Scandinavia, ancient Greece, etc., etc. So, according to Egyptian lore, the king was also a part of the belief that the divine one being, the divine creator, is manifest not just into the natural
Fine.
in the natural room. Okay.
All right.
Smash that boy headed.
I mean, okay, I did. Yeah, go ahead and wrap it up, bro. I did give him extra in the first round to wrap up his little bit. Go ahead and wrap it up, Johnny. Just don't be too long. Whatever you was reading. Are you good with your smushing that thing right there?
That's fire. I ain't want to start. That's fire right there. I should have had something like that to combat that right there.
I got so many questions.
Hold up. No. Wait. So
No, I was talking about that photo.
That's a smushinator. Yeah.
I know it's funny. That's why I said I got so many questions.
All right. So in this right here, okay, it's only a minute 58. Okay, so we'll let everybody ask them questions. Then we're gonna let them put each other on the hot seat for 5 minutes apiece. And then we'll go to the audience to vote. And then also we'll put up a poll for 72 hours, and that's up to you two debaters to promote your debate and get your people to vote for you, like you're running for president. And so I can tell you at the end of 72 hours, hey.
All right, so this is where there was an issue, right? So luckily, Queen Karima had placed a poll on YouTube, right? And JJ 7000, I love my brother, literally wanted us to go and basically, beg for votes, which I would not do. So on Facebook, the poll was up, and I was up like 70-80%, and for the first 2 days, and then brother Cephus Black went begging his friends for votes, and then he got the popular vote, and it wasn't that much higher than maybe 50-something% over 40. However, nobody promoted the YouTube poll. And so the YouTube poll stands as the poll that was untampered with. There was no begging. There was no, manipulation of the jury pool there. And if you go to Lions Den Debates, you'll see that even today, I am 73 and he is 27. Okay. So I won the debate. Hands down, and I think by my information and by even his own evidence, he actually shot himself in the foot and lost that debate. So with that said, I'm going to play a video, of my closing, and I'm gonna close this out. Shabbat shalom. Peace to everybody. Much love, Lions Den Debates. Much love to the conscious community. And with that said, I am going to share my closing video. You know what I mean? Check for your boy.
It is what it is. Zion War Child all day, every day. I am the Smusher. I am the most hated, the most underrated, the most underdebated, the most underestimated. I am the Smusher of heads. I am the Smushinator. I am your Smusher man, baby. Watch your mouth. Wipe your mouth off, God damn it. Watch what you say to me. Fix your face.
The meek and upright shall inherit upon the most holy hill. Out of Zion, the perfection of beauty, redeeming souls from